Hello to all my chunguses, big and small. It is with great mirth that we deck the halls. I don't know. Hey, what's up, people? How y'all doing? Good, I hope. Because it's Christmas Eve. If you can believe it. It feels like the whole year simultaneously passed by so quickly and also took an unbelievably long time to progress. Um, I hope everyone has, well, for those of you who care about Christmas, hope everyone who cares about Christmas has some fun plans. Um, Many of you probably can't see your family, which I imagine a lot of you want to do. But there are probably also a lot of people in chat who don't really like their family and are happy to have the excuse to not need to see them. So that kind of balances out a little bit. After you left Destiny's stream, John Zerka said he watches your videos now and thinks you're pog as fuck. Somebody else told me that. That's really interesting. I wouldn't expect John Zerka to be a tremendous fan of my content, but I think that's awesome, and I'm really glad that he likes what I do. Why would anybody need an excuse for that? Some people feel strong familial ties or obligations. Nice, Richard Blow. Chef Chingen, my brother. This will be the first Christmas of my life that I'm not spending near you. I'm sorry, but not making that trip down. I hope you guys have a good time without me. Yeah. Too bad. I get along a lot with my brother. My little bro, Chef Shingen. We didn't always have the best relationship, what brothers do, but I think now we're on really good terms, and it'd be nice to spend that time together. But that's life. So what are we talking about? Oh, yeah, so here's the day plan. It's Christmas Eve, and I've got stuff to do. Most of that stuff, by the way, is just going to be relaxing. I'm not much of a gift giver. It's actually infuriating to a lot of people that I know, because one of my big excuses for not being, like, a gift giver, one of my big excuses was, like, I didn't really have the money. And that's true. If you're in college, you don't really have the money. But now I have plenty. And Hyena, now you're called Vermin Hands. Okay, now Hyena is Vermin Hands. Everyone keep that in mind in chat. But now, I do, and I just still do not like getting gifts. I don't care. I just do not care. It is so uninteresting to me. Oh, you're on your iPad, I see. Wait, you forgot your login? Okay, whatever. Okay. Yeah, anyway, I'm just not much of a gift person. Anyway, I hope people are good. Okay. So people keep linking this, the Hakim video. Listen, I don't care. We went over the first Hakim video. It was like 40 minutes long. And over the course of that video, not only did he misrepresent my points and edit out sections of my video to avoid the context that would have clarified the counter-arguments to what he said, he also said he didn't see a difference between Trump and Biden. Why the fuck should I ever have to defend my political opinions to somebody stupid enough to think that Biden and Trump are the same? Like, you basically disqualified yourself. A lot of this video is probably him gonna be like, we can, wait, okay, actually, hold on. We'll go over the, oh my god. We'll go over the, what are they called? Not the thumbnails, the timestamps. Okay. Wasn't that him saying Biden or Trump are the same to him in Iraq? No. He just said that Biden and Trump are the same. He didn't just say they're the same with regards to foreign policy, which is also dumb. But, yeah. Okay, hold on. Intro memes, Vosh's pettiness, ad homs, and more memes. That's fair, I am pretty petty. Response 1, bad empanadas video, okay. Vosh is wrong about the importance of theory. I think I said theory's, like, pretty important, okay. Vosh is wrong about Marx and bourgeois democracy, ignorant of the timeline of the Russian Revolution. I think the only thing I said about the Russian Revolution is that prior to it, Lenin participated in electoralism alongside liberal parties in order to outflank the fascists at the time. I'm pretty sure that statement is inarguable. Yeah. Wait, hold on. He didn't actually show you talking about the people's drones because he wanted to frame it as you saying you wanted him droned. Oh, yeah, he's probably going to turn it into that, so hold on. Lack of creativity in movie building. Lenin quote. Okay. Doubling down being wrong. These are like super vague. I can't really respond to these. I guess I could just look at the video, but Vosh defends war crimes. Okay, wait. I want to hear this one. Hold on. I'm defending war crimes over here. Holy shit. He clarifies that they're only the same from his perspective. Okay, wait. So just to clarify, hold on, wait. So just a thing. If you're in Iraq and you believe, and you don't have much of a stake in the American election because Democrats and Republicans are both really, really, really awful to, with regards to foreign policy, that's totally okay. But he was advocating against the investment in getting Biden elected over Trump. And even if it is the case that both of them are bad with foreign policy, Biden is undeniably better in a great variety of ways, which are influential both domestically and abroad. So it's a dumb point to make either way. He says his house was drone striked. That fucking sucks. What the fuck? All right, hold on. Where do I defend war crimes? I just want to hear this part. Wait, go to the timestamp. Come on.
Having cleared that up, he then moves on to something really disgusting, honestly. Vosh outright dismisses the lived experience of someone on the receiving end of U.S. imperialism.
Oh, hold on. Just a quick point. This is one of the things people use when they don't have a point. Dismisses the lived experience of. So let's see if I say anything factually incorrect, or let's just see if my crime is disagreeing with them.
As, and I quote, not having an argument. Pulling a nice Stefan Molyneux there. If you're too thick-skulled to understand that, yes, that is essentially an allegory to why, to most of the world, there really is no tangible difference between the Democrats and the Republicans.
No, this is massively bullshit. This is unbelievably bullshit. And Trump has escalated military aggression in the Middle East. He's literally moved the Navy near Iran like yesterday. And he's probably doing it. Yeah, like right now. He bombed Soleimani, pulled us out of the nuclear accords, continued to support Saudi Arabia, pumped money into the genocide going in, and yeah, Trump increased drone strikes by 400%. Even if your only criteria for determining the difference between like Obama and Trump is drone strikes, Trump is objectively worse. Like, yeah. Yeah, he's literally pardoning war criminals right now. He's going through a fucking list like Santa, like, how many Iraqi babies did this Black Hawk mercenary kill? Oh, 28? That's a pardon. Oh, I'm sorry, how many 13-year-old Iraqi civilians were raped by this fucking guy? Oh, that's a pardon. Like, holy shit. Like, sorry, yeah, what did I say? Blackwater? Did I say Black Hawk? Blackwater, sorry.
You can play this two ways. Either you can say you don't care and you can out yourself, or you can claim that for whatever reason.
Wait, how am I defending war crimes? He says I defend war crimes, but he hasn't included anything that I've said yet.
If it benefits Americans, but negatively affects those in the third world, you feel that is a fair trade, which equally...
No, and Hakim never demonstrates that Biden would be worse for people in the developing world than Trump, so I don't know why the fuck he's throwing this perspective out.
...isn't a good look.
He never shows your direct audio? Ah, dude, Hakim is such a fucking moron. Are you kidding me? This makes sense. Why would I expect good content from this guy? His first video was trash. He took a shot at the king. His first video was trash. He didn't address any of my arguments. The moment I lazily respond to his video while clicking through it on live stream, he goes on Twitter, throws up a tweet storm about how I'm pardoning war crimes, and then says that I was a coward for not informing him beforehand that I was going to watch his video. Then he asks people to put together a compilation of clips of me being like a war crime. I might be misremembering this. And then he creates this video, and I click to the section, Vosh defends war crimes, and it doesn't have any audio from me, and it includes him saying that I said that Biden is worse for the developing world than Trump, but it's worth it because he's better domestically, which I never said, because I think Biden is at least equal on foreign policy, if not better. Yeah, okay. Anyway, this is dumb as fuck. Guys, again, like, to be perfectly clear, nothing Hakim has ever done, especially with regards to like talking about me, has indicated to me that like he needs to be taken super seriously. I'm sure there's some stuff that he has like good videos on. I know that because I've seen good videos from him. But like VDS is a real disease, guys. He's like you know, there are like anti-Vosh subreddits where there's a bot, and if you type Vosh, then the bot will respond, and it'll be like, I noticed you said Vosh. Here's the time he said he wants to rape every baby on Earth. And like, that person, the person who made that bot, is a tanky. These people are just obsessed with me. They're just like mad. They're always going to be mad. They're never not going to be mad. And by the way, I also would be really, really mad if I hit. I would also be super fucking mad. I'd be big mad if I hinged my hopes and advocacy for socialism on the legacy of like old dead governments, okay? If I was a tanky and like my advocacy for socialism was trying to explain to people who live in like heated fucking air-conditioned apartments how actually like things would have been totally better if the USSR had won instead, like that's a super effective way of advocating for economic democracy, bro. Super, super good. Does Vosh do any one-on-one discussions and not debates? Not really. I mean, not unless somebody has clout. Noam Chomsky is real good take on theory. Well, Noam Chomsky's a really smart dude, yeah. Do you think Hakim's a tanky? Isn't Hakim, like, objectively a tanky? I'm not... Wait, I don't have that wrong, right? I'm not, like, thinking of somebody else. I'm pretty sure I've seen Hakim's videos, and, like... Yeah. There are only so many tanky YouTubers. Anyway, look, again, Hakim has made good videos, and I know that because I've seen good videos from Hakim, but with regards to me, and this is the case for a lot of people, with regards to me, he can't step to the king, take a shot and miss. It's clear he just wants drama bait out of this. The thumbnail is literally a fucking crying Wojak of me. Like, it's obvious he just wants engagement. I've probably already engaged with this too much, because now he's going to make another video. It's going to be 3 hours long, and it's going to be a breakdown of what I've said in the past 2 minutes. So we needed to chill. Yeah, he got, wait, how many subs did he get out of me? Yeah. Wait, Vosh, can you stop talking about yourself? Nobody would watch me if I didn't talk about myself. What's the point of being a live streamer? I don't think Hakim is that terrible. So I want to clarify, because I've said this like 5 times. Hakim has made good videos. I don't know where I said that Hakim is terrible, but I am a really rough point for a lot of like online lefties. You guys know that, right? Like, you've seen how people talk about me. There are a lot of people who do really good engagement, who have good ideas, but then when it comes to me, either because they have some like hyperfixation with one thing that I've done or said, or because they participate in social circles that are really like performatively, you know, angry at me, they just have really dumb opinions when it comes to me. Well, you did basically say that he was a moron. Yeah, that video is pretty moronic. Yeah, yeah, true. Could you try to reach out to him? I mean, it's not a matter of reaching out. I'll say it. Yeah, if Hakim ever wants to come on and like talk, not a debate, but like a talk or a debate, whatever he would prefer, then yeah, sure. It's totally fine. I way prefer talking directly to people, by the way, than the cringy back and forth response videos. But nobody does talk to me. Nobody does talk to me. People who freak out about me and make response videos and they get clout off me, they don't ever want to talk to me. Nobody who disagrees with me talks to me and comes away looking good, because usually the people who I end up getting in these beefs with don't have good enough points to merit them talking directly to me. Like, there's a reason why they don't do that. This has happened like 5 or 10 times before over the course of my like YouTubing, okay? It's a really reliable pattern. Oh my goodness, the donations. Will you not upload your convo with charisma on command? I didn't record it. It was for their podcast. He said you were hiding talking about... Oh yeah, here's how you know, by the way. Hakim said that I was hiding from him because I didn't DM him to tell him that I was going to talk about him in a live stream. How are you hiding from somebody if you respond on a live stream to a video of theirs with 10,000 viewers? That's like the least... That's a terrible hide. That's very bad. Low stealth score there. Yeah. Very poor. Yeah, hiding in plain sight. He's hoping I get lost in like the YouTube live feed or something. Does he like tag you when he uploads on you then? Maybe. I don't check my Twitter. Okay, listen. I do not check my Twitter notifications, okay? I go on, I take a look at my feed. I do not check my notifications. First of all, notifications are useless if you have more than like, honestly, if you have more than like 20 or 30,000 followers, okay? You never check. Like why? It's always like 8 trillion people liked your last tweet, whatever. So you never get anything out of that. And also, for me personally, there's not much good to look at there, okay? It's a wasteland in there. Have I heard of Jake Tran? I do not know who that is. It's funny that MLN tankies are just like lead a revolution and saying that both parties are the same, then ignore the fact that Marx and Lenin both advocated for a revolution against liberals rather than fascists. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but, you know. Remember the woman who harassed the mother of a trans woman? Here's an article of the court's ruling. Majid Nawaz and his followers applaud this as a free speech victory and fuck trans people. Wait, what? What are we talking about here? People have the right to offend and abuse another without fear of arrest, UK court rules. Abuse another? That's kind of an odd term to say pertains to legality. Wait, hold on. I'm really, really sorry. Okay, hold on. I think I agree with the bad people on this one. I'm really, really sorry. I don't think the government should be able to arrest you for being transphobic to somebody. I don't think that should be allowed. I'm really sorry. If you want to get banned off Twitter, that's totally fine. Twitter, TOS, whatever. But I don't think the state has the right to lock you up for being a bigot. If you're, like, coordinating, like if you're coordinating a harassment campaign and it gets, like, serious, I think there could be made an argument. Of course, I don't know UK law. I only know American law. And I don't even know American law. But, yeah. So, the thing here says, presiding over the Court of Appeal in London, the judges ruled on the case of Stephanie Hayden, who suffered a torrent of online abuse from Kate Skodow. She was called a racist and a pig in a wig and repeatedly misgendered. Yeah, the government shouldn't arrest people for this at all. The fact that this even got to court is, like, really worrying to me at all. Like, guys, listen. Okay, I'm just going to say this, okay? Here's my extremely hot take, okay? If I got dragged into court by by a black Republican who said that I was racist towards them because I say that they're like a token who reinforces white supremacy, and they're like, you're saying black people can only have one certain type of opinion, I'm taking you to court. If I had to deal with court proceedings for 6 months because of that, I would turn into an anti-SJW, okay? I would turn into an anti-SJW like that. If I went on fucking JLP's program and we're memeing around and then afterwards I get a fucking court brief, yeah, I would not be happy, okay? I'd be a very unhappy boy. We have to be careful about this sort of thing. Hakim admits to saying I live rent-free in his head. Really? Wait. This is dumb as fuck. Here's Hakim's video, whatever. I lived 3 months rent-free in his head. How did I live in his head? Wait. How did he live? Okay. It's only fair I let him come in for a house tour. What? Wait, does Hakim know what this phrase means? Is he admitting that I live in his head? I don't... Okay. I don't know. You shouldn't platform people who you think have a bad influence on the world, I don't think, unless you feel like you can meaningfully counter that influence. But unless he wants to come on, yeah, talk shit to get views. Also known as the Jake Paul approach. You know what I'm talking about, people. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm actually looking at it right now. I actually think that Hakim gained all of these subscribers not because of engagement with me. So this is actually merited. Well, I guess it would be merited no matter what, but it seems like it was independently merited, which I think is good, or I don't know, preferable. I feel less morally culpable then, you know? Like like if you train a kid karate and then later that kid goes and kills somebody and you're like, oh god, I gave that kid the power to kill another, and you realize he killed another person with a gun, and you're like, oh, it wasn't the karate training. You're like, it's like, oh, okay, all right. It happened either way, but at least I didn't have as much of a hand in it. Yeah, ooh, safe. Yeah. This is dumb as fuck. We haven't even got to the segments yet. We have so many donuts. Okay, how are we doing tonight? Is everyone doing okay? Still mulling over your bad take there? Maybe I need to clarify. Wait, Onyx Burst. What bad take are you referring to? You don't mean the free speech thing, do you? Do you really think the government should be able to imprison you for being a transphobe? Vosh, some of the comments under that vid were saying your combative attitude towards others is what puts them off. Did they watch the Hakim video? The Hakim video was insanely patronizing to me. They just don't like it when I do it. Targeted harassment bad? That doesn't mean you can... Wait, can we do a poll in chat? Who agrees with me, yes, no, on what I said about imprisonment? Can we do a poll on that? That's not a poll. We don't have a poll up. It's just okay. Link to the story, please. I already closed it. Okay, nobody's making a poll, and I still don't know how to make a poll. Okay, well, thank you, mods. All right. Okay, thank you. Oh, okay, like the overwhelming majority of you guys agree. The way people were responding made me feel otherwise. Like, you shouldn't be imprisoned, but in the UK, you can be put in jail for hate speech against other protected groups, so trans people should be included in that, but the law in general is dumb, yes, Vosh. Yeah. I don't believe in hate speech laws. I don't think that's a good thing generally. And we don't have hate speech laws here in the country. Now, if you're directly harassing an individual, do you not think the state should arrest stalkers? Do you think there's a difference between like a stalker and a Twitter? Oh. Okay, so let's talk about this really, really quickly, okay? Look, harassment is bad. Banning Holocaust denial? No, you shouldn't ban... Oh, no. Oh, God, we have Eurocucks. We have Eurocucks and censor bots in chat. Oh, God. Guys, I'm sorry. I live in the United States of America, okay? And I believe in free speech. You're fine with deplatforming, but not with hate speech laws, right? Yes, I'm okay with getting banned off Twitter, not with being arrested. There is a really big difference there. The difference is that the First Amendment of the United States of America protects you against government punishment for exercises of free speech, with some very limited exceptions. That doesn't protect you from a Twitter TOS ban. You can't tolerate the intolerant. Oh my God. First of all, depending on your definition of harassment, judging from what I see from lefty Twitter, a lot of you fuckers would end up in the slammer if that was actually made a law, okay? Because harassment doesn't just mean racist and sexist. Harassment, like the shit you guys tend to say about fucking conservatives, okay? A lot of you people would end up in the slammer, all right? So don't pretend that this is some matter of like the oppressor fighting the oppressor fighting the oppressed, okay? This is just not good, okay? The First Amendment is important because the state, which already has a lot of power over our lives, probably should have to pass a really fucking high bar in order to arrest and imprison somebody. Literally take away your freedom and your human rights for something you've said, okay? Now, sometimes the things you've said are they do merit that kind of response. So, for example, death threats. But even then, death threats are kind of in a hazy area. How many of you online have jokingly made death threats? I'd be willing to bet a lot of you, okay? Don't fucking lie to me. When investigating death threats, usually it's the severity or like the legitimacy of a legal case against you is determined by the likelihood of you following through on that death threat, okay? Meaning that an offhand Twitter comment probably won't lead to you getting in jail. However, if you make multiple comments and then you have a warrant to your house and then the feds find that you're stockpiling ammunition, that seems like something more worthy of concern. And I agree with that because you've substantiated the threat. It's no longer just speech. Now it's speech indicating intent to commit a real crime. And that is the real concern here. Now, harassment is bad. In some cases, harassment can be something you sue people for. Hold on. Not a fucking lawyer. So the way it works in the United States of America is you have two types of court battles. Well, actually, there are multiple, okay? But there are two types, okay? We're keeping it simple, okay? We have criminal cases and we have civil cases, okay? Criminal cases are when you have done something so heinous that the state is like, hey, motherfucker, you're up against me. In a criminal case, you've done something that is against the law, and now the state is putting charges against you. So if you murder somebody, you're not having a lawsuit brought against you by the brother of the person you murdered. The state is coming up against you. It's the district attorney who's coming up against you, okay? But in a civil case, you can sue another person, but the state doesn't get directly involved. So, with regards to civil cases, I think that extensive harassment can be a legitimate thing to sue somebody over, but that's not the same as a criminal case. Like, there are different thresholds for how this is decided. In a civil case, you sue, you put forward the money, you sue for damages, and then you're compensated, or if you win your case. And yeah, like, again, I'm not a lawyer, but like, yeah, the criminal cases are something which should require a very high bar, a very, very high bar. You don't need to explain yourself in this small minority of chat being dumb as fuck and uncharitable. Yeah, I feel like I could change my mind here. You're not going to change my mind on the state, on the district attorney filing charges against somebody for a Twitter harassment campaign. I'm really, really sorry. Bosh, no, you shouldn't be allowed to openly fly a swastika. Oh my God, we have actual anti-free speech people here. Holy shit. Guys, you can't legislate away racism. Fucking Germany has anti-Holocaust denial laws, and Germany has a fuck ton of Nazis. They just get quiet about it, okay? They're just quiet, all right? You can't legislate away racism. If you have a problem with racism, you have to address it culturally, okay? You make it horrible to be a racist. Not by fucking arresting them, which makes martyrs out of them, and they form fucking neo-Nazi prison gangs, get out in 10 years, and then end up fucking joining the police, or, well, I guess you can't do that after you've been committed a felony, but whatever. You do that shit, okay? You fight it culturally, all right? You do everything you can to propagate anti-racist values, and you do it wide, and you do it far, and you do it well enough that people aren't racist, not because they're afraid of getting arrested, but because they're afraid of not being able to make friends, okay? That's how you deal with racism, okay? The solution to a person flying a swastika on their front porch is not to call the fucking police and wait 3 years for a fucking criminal case to get them locked in the slammer for a fucking flag they're flying up in the United States of fucking America, where you don't know if they're doing it as a joke. By the way, that's allowed. Even if it's a poor fucking joke, that's something they're allowed to do. That's not something that merits a fucking criminal sentence. The response to that should be to talk to them, or if you think they're a threat, if you think that person is a threat, to fucking ostracize them, okay? Every single time that person walks outside, they should feel the contempt, the eyeballs of every single fucking neighbor they live in, every single person at the dollar store, every single person in the fucking bowling alley. They should feel eyes breathing down their fucking neck every time they go outside. They should know they are hated because of the things they believe. But the solution to this is not to fucking arrest them. If you really want to, if you really think there's something fucked up happening to you, take it to a civil case, okay? Get a fucking lawyer, get a consultation with a lawyer, spend $100 trying to determine the merit of your case, and then go forward and pull them to fucking court, okay? Have them served a deposition, go there, try to get your money, whatever. But I refuse to afford the state the ability to arrest people, to get the district attorney, some of the most powerful legal forces on a local level, sicked on a person because of what they've said or because of a flag they've flown. Okay? That's what the right wants to do for people who jokingly fly ISIS flags. Okay? That's what the right wants to do to people who fly fucking USSR flags. And by the way, you know, I just want you guys to know, by the way, that if you actually start giving the state the power to arrest people for the fucking flags they fly, you know goddamn well that they're coming after the fucking USSR flags too, okay? You know goddamn fucking well they're not stopping at the fucking swastikas, okay? And you can hear all the arguments playing out in the back of your head. The USSR was also a tyrannical government that murdered millions of people. Why should they be allowed? And then all your First Amendment rights go right down the fucking drain, okay? Guys, I make a lot of arguments for the importance of like deplatforming and cultural opposition, but please, God, do not take that and move that over to criminal penalties for free speech. Please, I beg of you. Please, okay? Don't turn into what the right thinks you are. The right thinks you want to take their free speech rights away. The right thinks that you want to infringe on their rights to say or believe what they want. And there are people in chat who are that. Do not denigrate me by believing the things, by becoming the stereotype, okay? Please. All right. Nice job. Go team. We did it. All right. I had my hissy fit. We're here now. Here's my Christmas gift, okay? And by the way, just from a matter of like pragmatism, okay, and I do genuinely believe this. I really don't think you can legislate away like really bad cultural tendencies. We've seen this happen in Germany, and we've seen this happen in the Confederacy, where in both cases, like the battle against long-term discriminatory or inhumane beliefs like racism or slavery or Nazism or whatever, the battle against those is a cultural one, and that's much harder to win, but it's also, Boss, you literally just don't understand how hate speech works, in my opinion. Okay. All right. Um, did you see Destiny Steelman me the other day? Yeah, but he misrepresented my belief. I don't think I've ever advocated for like a workers' council to assign labor. But it's so nuanced, dude. The question of like setting up an alternative incentive structure and like outside a market economy is really, really difficult. That's probably the hardest challenge that like socialists have to overcome, which is why I try to circumnavigate it by like advocating for market socialism. I do think it's possible to encourage people to do difficult work without like literally holding their lives hostage, which is kind of how capitalism works, but it's a really difficult question. Intuitively, you'd think that a lot of people would only do certain jobs if they had no choice but to. But yeah. You have zero idea how hate speech laws work here? I'm gonna kill myself. Okay. Um, if the people want these kind of hate laws, they better be okay with the government taking them to court for saying shit like kill landlords. Oh god, dude. I liked a kill landlord joke on Twitter the other day, and it got posted to Destiny's subreddit, and they said it was basically the same as making a Holocaust joke. Oh god. Fucking kill me, the libs. But that's how they'd see it. The people in government would see it that way. Probably. You know? Oh god, it's so it was like a big thread too. They were they were really gripped by that. It was funny. Um, ostracization is not effective against Nazis. Voss, hate speech laws have their place. I'm gonna kill my. What about stochastic terrorism, Voss, and speech? You people literally just want the government to fix your cultural problems. This is insane to me. You guys actually just want the government to step in and solve it. Aren't we supposed to be socialists here? You literally like you want lawmakers. So we have free speech in this country, and you want lawmakers to take that free speech and carve out little blocks, little exceptions, and you're hoping that'll solve the cultural problems we're faced. Do you really think giving the state more power to restrict people's speech is going to make racism go away? Really think about yourself. Really think about it for a second, okay? Do you genuinely believe that affording the government more power to restrict people's free speech is going to pan out favorably for the left? This isn't a cultural problem, Vosh. What the fuck? People are just asking not to have to see Nazi flags. Are you dumb? Dude, I'm really sorry, but having to see Nazi flags if a person puts one up on their porch is the price you pay to live in a free society. I'm sure there are people who wouldn't want you to put up a USSR flag, but you have the right to put that up, and I'll defend to the death your right to do that shit, okay? I'm really, really sorry, but this is not state involvement shit, okay? Oh, God. Oh, no. I have... I... I have conservative stereotypes of leftists in my chat. How did this happen? I'm so pro free speech. I don't think it's authoritarians in chat. I think that a lot of people are just really doomer right now about... So, a lot of people are really doomer right now about our ability to deal with, like, regressive ideas. And in their mind, the only way to deal with it is to, like, very directly and aggressively target specific types of behavior with the only power you can legislate through, which is the state. Because cultural solutions are complicated, and they take a long time, and there's no guarantee that they're going to work either. Do you think Austria and Germany should abolish their anti-Nazi laws? I personally think that America's positions on free speech are generally preferable to most European countries, though I'm not familiar with the specifics of theirs, so I can't say that. There might be elements of theirs that are better than ours, but that like Holocaust denial law does not seem to have done any good. Germany has a fuck ton of crypto Nazis. Like, Germany produces an insane number of crypto Nazis, and all they do is they just produce their content to other countries that doesn't have the um nope. What do you mean no? What, wasn't there recently like a fucking paramilitary gang of Germans that were getting ready for like a Nazi revolution or some shit, and they were being trained by like paramilitary forces or something? Yeah, the yeah. I remember reading this for a while, but I'm pretty sure that there have been multiple reports saying that German police and German military are fucking infested with Nazis. Um okay, I know. Yeah. Um the alternative for Germany party, the third largest, basically a Nazi party. Charlottesville happened because of hate speech. No, Charlottesville didn't happen because of hate speech. Charlottesville happened because Nazis are in America. What do you mean because of hate speech? You can be a Nazi without engaging in hate speech, you know? It's actually really easy. It's called being a crypto Nazi. I argue with them all the time. It's like really easy to be that. You just have to be a little more careful with your language and you can compress all the same ideas. It's called dog whistling. Yeah, look, my opinion on this. This is the last thing I'm going to say, okay? This is my last... shut up. This is the last thing that I have to say, okay? When you ban bad speech, I think it just makes people better at dog whistling. I'm okay with certain impositions on free speech when it comes to the power dynamics between individuals. Like, say, for example, employers or teachers or landlords, because in that case, there's like a direct relationship between your well-being and the power they hold over you. And when, by the way, if a landlord is racist to you, that's a civil case, not a criminal case. The state doesn't come in to fucking arrest them. You sue them. And I think that's a good system. What I'd like to do is get people really educated on their legal rights, because what you find is that a lot of people have a lot of legal grounding to sue the people who have power over them, but they don't do it because they don't know about their rights. How many people are getting fucked over by their landlords, and they don't know it? How many people are getting their wages fucking skimmed off and they don't know it? Or they don't know their rights. They don't know how to fight it. I agree with you, but wouldn't that happen with private companies too? Because private companies can't arrest you. Okay. All right. I love you all very much. You're all beautiful people. How do you identify a crypto Nazi or call it a fascist obfuscating their beliefs? Well, you can take a look at my channel because that's basically 90% of what I do. All right. This is basically just like an American. Is this going to be a segment? Maybe the rant will be, but like, no. Because here, in my experience, if I make this a segment, it's going to get clipped out by woke scolds, and there are going to be people saying that I support like flying Nazi flags on your fucking. Even though I spent like a minute saying that anybody who flies a Nazi flag in their porch should be subjected to the greatest possible social ostracization. The funny thing is that anarchists are supposed to be the ones who believe most in like social ostracization being the punishment for like antisocial behavior, you know? It's usually anarchists who are the one that argue that that there are like a bunch of ways to address like intolerant behavior that don't involve the imposition of a state. But I don't know. All right. Make this segment also Artemis on my lap and has been for a while. I'm crying. Yeah. I agree with your points, Vosh. I'm just wondering how this is in any way related to the US being way more conservative compared to EU countries. It really depends on your definition of conservative. Really, the only ways in which the EU is like more to the left than America is in their welfare states. When you're talking about like social progressivism, it varies like country to country. And when you're talking about like stuff like racism or like Nazism or whatever, it really does vary massively. Absolutely not. Speech should be used to organize hate. Should not be tolerated. Read some ML. I'm gonna kill myself. We just have authoritarians in chat. Read some ML? What the fuck does that mean? Read some ML. People like Jordan Peterson say things like Canada's Bill C-16 are anti-free speech, but I recall you being okay with C-16 in your Elliot Page video. Do you feel these are contradictory given your last statement? No. Bill C-16 was about preventing employers and landlords from being transphobic to the people who either work for them or are housed on their property. And you don't get arrested for it. You can be sued for it. It's living in Spain without the S. Also, that's a Canadian bill, so it's not even American. All right, we're moving on. This time for real. God help me. There are two things that we have to talk about now, okay? I'm not reading chat. Fuck all you. Wait, it looks like Tankies have forced Merrick DeVille off Twitter. Man, really? Merrick is funny. Merrickville deactivated from all I can tell because she considered Stalin to be worse than Foch. And a lot of people disagreed with that. Now I see certain people celebrating and accusing her of racism. God damn it. Why did... Dude, I've said this so many times. Being a fan of me in public is you're the bravest human beings around. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. By the way, if you defend Stalin, you're canceled. He raped a 14-year-old girl. All right? Didn't he get her pregnant? Chill. All Stalin defenders are pedophiles. Make sure to tell them that. Yeah. Tell them that. Yeah, make sure they know. It's true. Okay, let's... Dude, you should read on how hate speech laws actually work. I've read every hate speech law. Additionally, I fucked your mom. Chill. I'll do it again. Okay, that's a proper segment. Please, God. Okay, so some of you may have heard about something called the War on Christmas. It's part of an ongoing cultural back and forth that a lot of people generally refer to as the culture war. But for all you say, I've watched the H-Bomber guy video. Nope, I haven't watched it, and this isn't that. So shut up. Nope, stop. H-Bomber guy did not invent talking about the war on Christmas. Shut up, all of you. Been talking about this since before you were... I bet 19... I was there when Coca-Cola invented Santa Claus, okay? Everyone shut up. Stop. So, here's the issue, all right? There's something that I like to talk about a lot, and it's called the culture war. The culture war is, like, generally speaking, a broad catch-all term. It's not like an academic term, but it refers to things the left and the right fight over. And what this usually ends up being is a series of events or laws or people or concepts that we banty back and forth, and it's usually a proxy for something else. I'll give you an example. Pronouns. A lot of people on Twitter are, like, super, super mad about pronouns in bio. Now, let's be real here, okay? Nobody has ever been hurt by pronouns in bio. Absolutely zero people have been. And there are people who like putting it in their bio because they're like, because they're trans and they just want people to gender them correctly. This is literally completely harmless, okay? But a lot of people on the right get super fucking mad over this. Another thing that a lot of people on the right get super fucking mad over is happy holidays. I've said this before, I said it on Twitter, I'll say it again. I have never met a lefty, never once met a lefty, who got mad at the phrase, Merry Christmas. I literally never have. I have never once. Not when I was a kid and my only understanding of lefty was like Obama supporter, and not today as an adult surrounded by anarchists, communists, and socialists. Not once. I've never seen it happen. Merry Christmas. Today's Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas. I don't care. It's the holiday, whatever. Most people in America celebrate Christmas. Some people don't. I grew up in a very non-Christmas celebrating area, Beverly Hills. Most people there celebrate Hanukkah. People would still say Merry Christmas. I never saw anyone get mad. I never saw a Jew get super fucking angry that somebody said Merry Christmas. I never saw... They would say Merry Christmas too. Nobody cares. I say Happy Hanukkah when I'm talking to people who I think celebrate Hanukkah. Nobody cares. But some people say happy holidays is like a catch-all. And that's totally fine. Like, there are multiple holidays that go on towards the end of the year. What is this? The Gregorian calendar? I have no idea. What's the name of our Roman calendar? I don't even know. What's the name of our... Is it the Gregorian calendar? I don't know why it's called that. It just sounds cool to say. But some people say happy holidays, and this is just a catch-all. And the right pretends that this is like a vicious assault on Christmas, okay? Dude, let me tell you, the people who say happy holidays, most of them go home and celebrate Christmas, okay? The only time I even hear happy holidays is like cashiers. If you're like a cashier and like you don't know the person that you're checking out or whatever, just say happy holidays, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's meaningless. But conservatives freak the fuck out. Conservatives lose their mind and they pretend that it's people on the left who get triggered by Merry Christmas, which again, I've never heard in my life. But I'll tell you what, if you go on mainstream media, it is the conservatives who are mad over happy holidays, not the lefties who are mad over Merry Christmas. Go on MSNBC, go read a Jacobin article, go to the New York Times, you're not going to see anyone complaining about Merry Christmas. If you do, it'll be one tiny op-ed with like 87 comments telling the writer that they're an idiot, okay? That's where you're going to see it. But if you go to the right, you can look at fucking Bill O'Reilly. You can go on Fox News. You can listen to the president of the United States of America, Donald Trump, talk about how Christmas is under threat by people who say happy holidays. You guys are the ones who are obsessed over this, not us. And what this is, and I want to be really clear about this is the culture war in a nutshell, okay? Things that don't matter being blown up to monumental significance for the purposes of virtue signaling, okay? That is what this is. That is what that is. Now, I want to talk not about the Christmas war or whatever. Nobody canceling Christmas, you fucking morons. This isn't happening. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the culture war, like as a concept, okay? Listen up right here. The culture war is a series of distractions that are thrown in front of you to prevent you from focusing on issues that actually matter. And I mean that in both directions, okay? That affects the left and the right. So most human beings are affected substantively by a fairly narrow range of what gets discussed in the political sphere. If you go turn on a news station, you're going to hear 1,000 stories a day, and of them, maybe 10 will meaningfully affect the well-being, the life of the person watching it. A lot of it will be like public interest stories or like random, celebrity gossip tidbits or whatever. Let me give you like an example. Here are some things that really matter for the average American, okay? You should have good work. You should be paid well for your work. You should have the opportunity to do good work that matters, that you're good about doing, like you feel good about doing it, you know, it's something that is fit to your talents. You're paid well. You should be able to afford to support a family. The way the economy works these days, I mean, I don't know if we're ever going to get back like the one worker household. I don't have a problem with women working. It'd be nice if people could live that easily, though. Though to be fair, the myth of the one worker household is something that was only really like normalized in middle-class white households back during the 1950s and 60s. In reality, people of color and poor people have always been having both parents work. So I don't know, it's complicated, but we should be able to work and we should be able to afford what we do. Most Americans can't really like afford their rent. You know, you're only supposed to pay up to a third of your salary in rent. How many people in chat right now are paying more than a third of their salary in rent? I tell you that before I got this YouTubing job, I was paying way more than a third of my salary in rent. Way more. And so was basically everyone else I knew. People were paying half. People were paying 2/3. And the rest of it would just go to like food and like base subsistence bills. Okay, well, some of you are doing well, I see. Well, screw you. There are a lot of Americans who are not that lucky. The fact that anyone's in that position while working a full-time job is, in my opinion, aberrant. These are issues that affect us. We want good education. We want well-functioning cities. We don't want a lot of traffic. You know, we want cities that are well-organized. We want a vibrant economy. We want consumer goods to be cheap. These are things that affect the average person. They affect the average person a lot. In fact, I'd be willing to bet that you could live your entire life focusing on just those issues, and that would be like an adequate summary of the things that matter to you, an adequate summary of the things that you care about. The culture war encourages you to focus on issues that are immaterial to your life, okay? So let me give you an example of like something that is not culture war, okay? Black Lives Matter ain't culture war, okay? For a lot of black people, the shit they're going through is real and worthy of consideration, okay? If you're out there marching in the streets with regards to like Black Lives Matter, like you like cop, the way you're treated by cops and like systemic racism, it's like a real thing that materially affects your life. What about trans people's bathrooms? I remember 2017 and 2018, everyone was talking about trans people's bathrooms. You know who's affected by this? Literally zero people. Trans people have been using whatever restroom they want to for literal decades now. There's no evidence to suggest any harm is being done by this. But all of a sudden, this was a subject of national discourse. And now we're talking about the war on Christmas, and we talk about pronouns and bio, and there are people, like soy. Soy is a culture war issue. What was that about? People were like freaking out about soy in food, but it wasn't even real, and it was based on one study, and the person who made that study came out and said that it wasn't even representative of what they were talking about, and then it was completely made up from the beginning, and now, like, what are we even talking about right now? Jordan Peterson does this expertly. Jordan Peterson with the C-16 bill. The C-16 bill, which was just about including trans people in like essentially the protected classes of Canada. Nobody's been arrested for misgendering other people, but the way Jordan Peterson was going on, I would rather be arrested by the deep state than ever be compelled to use she as a pronoun. Like, he really had you going. Millions of people were watching Jordan Peterson every day, gritting their teeth, waiting for him to be arrested by the PC police, but it never happened. Nobody's ever been arrested in Canada for that, because it was completely made up. But he made millions of dollars off of fear-mongering over it, so, that's good. The point that I'm trying to get at is like, and I think this is especially the case for conservatives, sometimes liberals do get caught up in this. I do think there are like virtue signaling culture war elements that get called up a lot amongst liberals. A lot of them have to do with like meaningless diversity or representation in government. A lot of them have to do with like performative wokeness, like BLM, and then like some voice actors resigned because they weren't dark-skinned enough or whatever, and people made fun of them because they were, because it wasn't actually doing anything, and yeah, like virtue signaling stuff like that. But I feel this is most the issue with conservatives. As somebody who argues with conservatives like all the time, they don't like talking about policy. They never talk about policy. They talk about conspiracy, and they talk about the culture war. They talk about issues that they've been told are important, but don't actually affect their lives. They've been told that trans people, pronoun and bios, war on Christmas is the threat to their well-being that they need to defend against. And years pass and nothing happens, and they don't learn. They don't wise up to the fact that they're being led astray. And the people who are leading them astray, and let me be perfectly clear about this, are, generally speaking, the wealthy and politicians. They are the ones who want you to focus on meaningless cultural platitudes rather than real issues, okay? You know why? Because while you're poor and starving with bad education and no work opportunities, you don't wake up and realize, hey, wow, the political system we live in sure is doing a number on me, huh? Because you become convinced that it's immigrants or like woke PC culture that's doing it to you. Do you have any idea how many conservative moms are convinced that the only reason their little boy didn't get a job they wanted is because they were white, so they didn't get affirmative action hires? That really doesn't happen that much. Affirmative action mostly benefits white women, funnily enough. But a lot of parents have that as a scapegoat. A lot of them. I've heard that in real life before. A lot of them do. So many of them, in fact, so many people looking to blame their personal failings on something else when they don't look up and they don't realize the reason why your kid's not having a good, easy time getting a job is because our economy is fucked. Because we went from an industrial economy to a service gig economy that doesn't promise anybody anything. They don't question that. The reason I talk about culture war issues is because I hope that we can move people onto issues that actually matter. You saw this when I talked with the Tim Pool guy, because the not Tim Pool himself. Well, actually, yeah, Tim Pool himself, but the Tim Pool fan a couple of weeks ago, because like I would talk with this guy and he had such a strong conviction about conservatism, but the only thing he had to bring up were like Twitter cultural arguments about, like, he could vaguely gesture at some like nefarious woke overlord controlling the system, but he couldn't, like, policy. No, we don't talk about policy here. Because then you have to talk about, like, facts, and you have to talk about the real issues that meaningfully affect Americans. Now, I want to be clear about something. Not every identity-based issue is like meaningless culture war dog shit. In fact, that trans bathroom bill stuff actually isn't culture war bullshit to trans people. To trans people, this is a very real imposition on their rights. Like, when the government starts doing fucking genital checks to determine which bathroom you can go into, the culture war bullshit isn't in the existence of the issue itself. It's in the existence of people making it to be such an issue when it's not. But to trans people, that matters. Yeah, penis inspection day is a real threat. But why the fuck should anyone else care about this? Nobody's getting hurt by whatever. Likewise, the pronoun and bio things. Nobody's getting hurt by pronouns in bio. I have no idea why people are so obsessed with them. But if a person wants to put their pronouns in bio, like, why are they getting harassed for it? It's so mean. Like, why? It means nothing. Why? It's so stupid. And 90% of the right-left discourse that takes place in this country has nothing, has nada to do with real politics, like with actual distributions of power and prestige and influence and social acumen. And it has everything to do, though, with like, what battleground do we get to fight over today? You can almost feel it when it's happening, too. Some new news article comes out, or some celebrity says something dumb, or something happens, and you feel in the back of your head, oh God, this is what we're going to be arguing about for the next year. Can't you feel that? Whenever, I tell you, whenever J.K. Rowling says anything, or Elon Musk, he does this from time to time, like, anytime, like, you get this feeling, you know what I mean? Or when Donald Trump used his power as the president to unilaterally send military forces down to the border to help build the wall, and you know it's going to be like an immigration issue. Or when like the Syrian refugee crisis took place, and I knew back in 2015, I was thinking, oh God, this is going to be like something we're going to be talking about forever, isn't it? You know? You can feel these things come up. Now, the Syrian refugee crisis and immigration are all real issues, but when we talk with conservatives, do we argue about real issues? About immigration? Do we argue about like the data and proportion of like immigrants coming in and what effect they have on the economy? I have never in my life had an argument with a conservative about immigration that was data-based. It's fucking feelings-based, bro. Every single goddamn time. Because if they wanted to talk about facts, they get rolled. Immigration is an incredibly well-studied phenomena by economists and sociologists and political scientists. It's not, yeah. Oh yeah, Muslim rape gangs. The grooming gangs are a perfect example. Guys, children being sexually assaulted is a serious fucking issue. But instead of talking about sexual assault towards children, they take the whole number of children getting sexually assaulted, they take a fraction of that amount, and they take a fraction of that amount, and then they're like, these are the grooming gangs that are destroying and raping all children in the world. We need to do something about this. Ban all immigration. When if you actually scale back, like, sexual assault of children is a problem in every country, and there are, you know, things that we can do about it. You'll find, by the way, that the easiest solution to many of these problems is to do things that feminists have been calling for decades, which is to put more money into women's shelters, to put additional police priority on addressing sexual assault, and to generally promote, like, you know, female bodily autonomy, and generally like those lib-cucked messages that anti-feminists really don't like, where you tell men to, you know, respect women's bodily autonomy and stuff like that. That actually would have a pretty significant effect on these, you know, on the preponderance of sexual assault of children and of women. But, you know, yeah, hyper-comprehensive sex education as well. You'll find that most of these problems stem down to conservatism. If you actually take a look at, like, most of the complaints about, like, migrants or refugees or Muslim people, it's usually just complaining about conservatism, but when brown people do it. Anyway, yeah. The point, again, I'm rambling, but the point that I'm getting at here is, like, don't focus on culture war issues, okay? Focus on what affects you and your life. I've never met a person, never once in my life, whose livelihood depended on pronouns in bio, but I've met thousands who are convinced that the existence of people who put pronouns in bio is some sort of existential threat to the American empire. I don't understand how... I don't know how people arrive at that point, but man, they sure do, and it really does distract us from talking about what matters. I talk about these issues only in the hopes that I can either dispel other people's obsession with them, or that I can move them on to points that matter. You've all seen me on this channel. When I talk about stuff like pronouns in bio, or trans bathroom bills, or trans people in sports, or any of that crap, usually my interest isn't like taking the opposite side to them. It's just pointing out that it really doesn't matter that much. You've noticed that distinction, right? Usually it's the people I talk to who care massively, and I'm the person who's trying to say, like, this really isn't a big deal. I'm not trying to perpetuate the culture war. I'm just trying to get other people to be less obsessed with it. That's the hope, at least. Goofy Face Gilbert, that's what we're doing literally right next. Anyway, we have a video to go over. Hold on. Lefties are still blaming Pelosi on Twitter right now? Yeah, I don't doubt it. That would not surprise me. And doesn't surprise me. Ilhan Omar is calling for Medicare for all. Interesting. Okay, we're going to watch this video, and then we're doing donos until stream ends. Support for this has tremendously grown since you last supported the Speaker Pelosi. The current House bill for single payer has more sponsors than the 1993 bill. Let's bring it up for a vote. Healthcare access expansion is Dems vote. Okay, Ilhan Omar was already pro-Medicare for all. Ilhan Omar is not advocating for holding Pelosi's speakership vote hostage here. That's the condition. I'm totally okay with lefties pressuring Pelosi to advocate for Medicare for all. I just think that it would be a massive overextension of our public goodwill to hold a vote hostage. So I'm fine with this, yeah. Did you see the protest on January 6th that Trump invited all of his hogs to? I know of the existence of this protest. I'm vaguely aware that it will happen. I don't know much about it, though. Have you guys seen all of the Wojak discourse on Twitter? Where there were like some black Wojaks and like immediately racist people got super fucking angry. Have you all seen that? That happened so quickly and was so fucking weird. It was literally like, there were like 2 days of like black Wojaks, and now it's all like angry infighting. Though to be fair, those Wojaks weren't real Wojaks. I stand by the original artistic intent of the Wojak, okay? Wojaks are supposed to look ugly, but people keep making them in their own image, so they make them prettier and prettier, okay? That's not okay. Wojaks have to be, they're supposed to be shitty MS Paint mouse drawings, okay? If you're like smoothing the lines and like fading the skin tone and like photoshopping the real hair and stuff, like it's not really a Wojak. Stop being a boob. What do you want? What do you want from me? How do you make a black Wojak then? Well, you would just make the skin tone darker, right? Actually, so for me, in my personal opinion, this would be, maybe some people disagree. I always assumed that Wojaks were race neutral. They're not like, I didn't think they were white, like the color white. I thought that, sorry, like peach. I thought they were white like they were an MS Paint drawing, so they were unfilled. So having black Wojaks kind of implicitly suggests that the non-black Wojaks are all white, which feels weird, you know? Yeah, like in Homestuck, like all the characters are white, not because they're white, but because they're just not colored in, you know? It kind of reads as white. Yeah, I mean, I guess, sure. That doesn't mean there can't be race-specific Wojaks. No, but it does reinforce whiteness as the default, doesn't it? If you have the default Wojak is like unfilled, so white, and you assume that one's white, and then all the other races get brown or black or whatever. I've even seen Asian Wojaks, which have like an Asian peachy, not peachy, like, I don't know, milk tea skin tone or whatever. Then you're kind of making the assumption that the default there is white, not peach, you know? There's literally a Chad pick and it's colored white. Yeah, well, the Nordic Chad would literally be like white. Yeah. It's literally like the Nordic Chad meme. So that fits, but like, okay, listen, I'm just saying this, okay? I would like it, this is my personal opinion, I would like it if this could be race neutral. Can we agree on that? Yeah, the Chad isn't a Wojak, but this to me should be race neutral. It's just a dude. It's just the fucking feels dude, you know? We all hurt together, yeah. It's like the new Rage comics. Don't think about it too hard, okay? Don't think about it too much. All right, everyone. Gather yourselves. Gather yourselves. For rhetoric. I don't know how many of these Rhetoric 101 videos I've done, but I think I'm just going to call all of them Rhetoric 101 from now on, because it feels dumb to go Rhetoric 102, 103. Today, I want to show you guys a video that, this is full disclosure, I saw this on a notorious neoliberal live stream the other day. I was just watching something while errantly playing Fallout New Vegas. And I saw this video, and it was really interesting to me. And I thought I could go over this video and point out how it's wrong, but that would be a little dry. Instead, what I would rather do is go over it and point out how it is propagandistic. This video, or the two of them actually, were posted by Donald Trump. Their videos cut from a YouTube video made by some aspiring conservative hack. I don't know. But as you can see, plenty of likes, plenty of engagement. How nice. And while looking through this video, while I was playing New Vegas, this is actually expertly crafted propaganda. So let's go through it. I want to go through this propaganda, and I'm going to point out to you, to the best of my ability, how to identify the problems with these arguments. That's going to be my goal. Now, I want to lay my intent perfectly clear. Obviously, many of the claims in this video are just bullshit. So, I mean, I'll point that out when it's true. But my goal here isn't to exhaustively disprove every single thing that's being said. It's to explain to you how you can craft a lie this effectively without being right. Anyway, props to whoever put this video together, because it is well done, in spite of its, I don't know, moral heinousness. Let's roll.
2020 has been a year like no other. Everything we know, everything we trust, and everything we've come to rely on has changed.
So, right off the bat, there's nothing technically like conservative or wrong about this so far. I mean, that's true. However, what is taking place right now is called priming. The goal of this portion of the video is to instill a certain state of mind in you, so that when we move forward into the video, it's easier to accept some of the premises that are being laid bare. Right now, the video is trying to convey to you, or at least instill in you, feelings of listlessness, hopelessness, despair, nostalgia, a feeling that things aren't going to go back to the way they were. And in doing so, it makes it easier to sell you on the idea that radical change must be necessary in order to return to the status quo.
So how could we expect the U.S. election to be any different?
There we go. So that right there is a complete non sequitur. Just because a year has been odd and difficult does not mean that there is going to be anything out of whack with the election necessarily. Now, of course, there were some things out of whack with this election, and they all came from Trump. I mean, according to the Department of Homeland Security's own investigation, this was the most secure election in recent history. So, again, to go into the minutia of all the arguments about electoral fraud would take an extraordinarily long time, but even if it necessarily led to the assumption that there was something wrong with the election following there was something wrong with the year, that wouldn't mean the thing that was wrong with the election would be electoral fraud.
Mainstream media are telling us the race is over. Biden won. Time to move on.
So I also like this framing. Mainstream media is telling it. No. At the time of this video's release, the electoral votes have been counted. The electors have already cast their vote. So by framing this as the media is telling you, rather than every institution in the country has accepted the outcome, it's very, very different.
Nothing to see here, folks.
Again, this is priming nothing to see here, folks. As a, like, you could make anything sound like that. You could frame anything this way. Well, when your mom said that she was going to make you pancakes this morning and that she was going to make them homemade, but then she disappeared into the kitchen and then gave you pancakes. Yeah, okay. Mom says she cooked those rather than microwaving the old ones from yesterday morning. That's what she says. Nothing to see here, folks. It's a absolutely meaningless, like, rhetorical addition.
But in your gut, you know
A fucking Guy Fawkes mask.
something's just not right.
In your gut, you know something's just not right. So this is an appeal to intuition and is by definition fallacious. If any video, conservative or liberal or whatever, makes arguments like this, you know something's up in your gut, then you should never trust anything in the content of that video, ever. Because they are making a fallacious appeal to you. They are relying on your preconceived biases to carry their arguments for them.
From the strange patterns on election night, to the weeks of suspense, to the reports of fraud that evaporate faster than Biden's memory.
That's a nice meme. So let's go through these one by one, if we will.
To the weeks of suspense.
Oh, missed the first one.
From the strange patterns on election night.
What strange patterns on election night? I noticed they go unspecified.
To the weeks of suspense.
There wasn't really weeks of suspense. The votes took a while to count in states like Pennsylvania. The reason why they took a while to count is because of changes in the law that were put forward by Republicans. Most of the election business was done after 2 days, which is fairly typical in American elections. And then just a few days after that, the election was called. It wasn't really weeks of suspense.
To the reports of fraud that evaporate faster than Biden's memory.
What does this mean? Reports of fraud that evaporate faster. What is the claim being made here? Is the argument... No, genuinely. Is the argument that they're making the claims disappear? That they're Jedi mind tricking them? Also, in this context, this would be an ad hominem against Joe Biden. If the video was relying on you having a negative opinion of Joe Biden, so just making jabs at him feels like it adds to how convincing the content of the video is. But in reality, when you're making points like this, if you were watching like a liberal video on the election and they were saying stuff like, yeah, and these claims of electoral tampering where every bit as fake as Donald Trump's hair, would that not lead you to question the content of the video a little bit? It would for me. It would make me feel like, well, for one, it makes it feel like a little patronizing because they're trying to rely off of my like preconceived biases. But it also suggests to me that they're trying to win favor from the audience in a way that isn't directly tied to the merit of their arguments.
It just doesn't add up. Stay with me, and you'll see just what's going on behind the scenes in this election, and why the greatest threat we're facing right now is not an invisible enemy invading our bodies, but one that's invading our country and our minds.
So, this is, I know this feels like a Game of Thrones music, like orchestral crescendo. This is fear-mongering. This is a really, really, really easy way to parse propaganda, is the extent to which they're interested in making their audience feel fearful. So watching like people in masks zoom by and doctors scrape skin cells off of your gums and while the music flares and the greatest threat is coming from within. This isn't, not only is this insubstantive, this is also a very deliberate attempt to manipulate the emotions of the people watching it. I know a lot of this may seem like obvious to those of you who are watching, but it's really important because this video contains essentially every propaganda trick you're ever going to see from a conservative outlet. And I know a lot of you can see that there's something wrong when you watch this, but I imagine that when describing what's wrong with it to other people, a lot of you would gesture and say, this is just bullshit. Because I've seen other people do that. Sometimes it's easy to point out that there's something wrong. But breaking it down, maybe you need more time to think about it. So I want you to think about it. All the strategies that are being used here. And now we get... Brace yourselves, by the way. I swear to God I didn't record this.
Welcome to Man in America.
Listen. I don't drink. I don't know how they got this footage of me. I don't know. I don't have any memory of this. But here we are. I'm here now. Okay, let's just...
I'm your host, Seth Wholehouse.
Wholehouse. Okay, that's me ad-homming. Let's go.
Let me ask you, how do you know what's happening in the world right now? How do you know what's going on in this country? Or even your city? I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume you probably turn to mainstream media, which includes social media. Perhaps you watch Tucker.
Mainstream media, which includes social media. What? Social media like browsing Twitter? I mean, news stations are on Twitter, but most people who get their news from social media aren't getting it from the Twitter account for Fox News. It's a massive decentralized network. Yeah, this video is right now on Twitter, and it was originally published to YouTube, both of which are social media sites. So, is this the mainstream media?
In the evenings, or read New York Times Sunday morning.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Perhaps you watch Tucker in the evenings.
I do not.
Or read New York Times Sunday morning.
I also
Or
do
check Facebook on your lunch break. So how do you know what's going on in the U.S. election? What did you think on election night when historically red states and battleground states were stalled, while blue states were immediately called for Biden?
So, this is objectively incorrect, and we can break it down. First of all, most states were called immediately because they were obvious wins for one candidate or another. A bunch of red and blue states fell into line immediately because there was basically no mathematical chance of them going any other way. California was one of the longest states to count all their votes, and they're a deep blue state. Florida was a battleground state, and they were called, after 2 hours, basically. The relationship between these states being battleground states and them taking a while to count isn't a conspiracy. It's laid out in the laws of each state. Florida was able to count everyone quickly because they were able to assemble these votes and count them before the actual voter day. That's why Florida was able to get done so quickly. A lot of the other states that were called didn't have those laws, but there was no chance of them going one way or the other, so they were called early. Like Kentucky or Idaho or California. Like, we know where these are going to go. The battleground states took a while to be settled, not because of some nefarious scheme, but in large part because there was a combination of bad state laws regarding counting voter and mail-in ballots, and additionally, a lot of ambiguity as to which way it would go. After all, if there's ambiguity, you don't want to call it early. How do you explain this to a conservative when they ignore history? Well, you can't explain anything to conservatives, so it's not even worth that time.
Or when Fox called Arizona with so many votes still out, of course, for Biden.
So this ended up being a little anomalous. Fox did call Arizona early, and Arizona did end up going to Biden. But that's not evidence of any, nefarious behavior. They ended up being correct. Fox did call Arizona, weirdly early, but I don't know. They have their own internal decision-making process. The argument, by the way, that, which states are called when influences the election, is to me a very, 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 very weak one. It was just an early call that ended up being correct. I don't think there's any evidence to indicate that people's votes were influenced by which institutions called when, which means that it doesn't actually have an effect on the election.
And how about the late night ballot dumps that were somehow all for Biden?
This is just not true. So, yeah. There weren't late night ballot dumps. There were counting offices that continued to count votes in through the night, and then they delivered them in batches unless you think they should deliver every single vote one at a time. Like they have a little counter who just racks up a little tally, and you see the state number tick up one by one. Of course, it's done in groups. But all of the processes by which these ballots were counted were above board and adhered to the exact same standards of all the other ballots that were counted.
And the batches of pristine mail-in ballots also all for Biden.
It's just not.
And then there were the burst water.
So is it calling out a propaganda strategy to just point out that he's lying? Is that enough? I could just say that. But he's lying very convincingly. The look that he's giving you. The look that he's giving you right now is not one of a propagandist. That's not the vibe that he's going for. He's coming off almost like Tucker Carlson. It's funny that he name-dropped an inspiration earlier in the video. He's asking you questions, okay? He's not leading you down any road. He's just asking you open-ended questions with very leading answers with the intention of directing you towards a given state of mind. And of course, if he's dishonest at any point during this, it doesn't matter, because he's not being specific enough with his accusations for him to even be debunkable. If I were to debate this guy and I were to say, hey, what did you mean by this? We would talk about it for 3 hours back and forth, and eventually we would settle on the fact that even though nothing has been proven to have happened like below board, it's like, oh, well, I was just referring to this ballot dump that was mostly for Biden. Oh, I wasn't implying that it was illegitimate. I was just saying that it was a ballot dump and it was mostly Biden. And then like he would move on.
Water pipes and the power outages and the computer glitches and issues with Sharpie pens.
Yeah, well, see, he's listing off one by one all of these things that have been debunked and disproven. The Sharpie pen thing was literally just a Twitter meme. There was no evidence. The Sharpiegate thing was just completely fake. But he lists all of these things that have already been disproven, one after another, gish galloping you. So it's impossible for you to logically comprehend the extent of the arguments being made here. Here's my personal opinion. At this point in time, if a person is making an argument for conspiracy, if they say one factually incorrect thing that's easily disprovable, as far as I'm concerned, they're done. It's out the window for them. They're completely done. It's over. At this point, when we're in a position where so many people are so willing to lie so flagrantly, if they say one thing, if they make a single argument that I could disprove with a single Google search, then what does that say about the rest of the information they have for you? In all likelihood, it means that everything they're saying is horseshit. They're just cobbling together as many stories as they can, and that disproving one of them is enough to dispel the credibility of the rest of the arguments.
And lost USB drives that somehow all favor Biden.
The Sharpies all favor Biden? The lost USB drives all favor... What are you talking about?
And then we have the hordes of dead voters. Once again,
never proven. Wait, I like how he's like the hordes of dead voters. So what he provides you is a Twitter screenshot that doesn't even make a specific accusation. This is literally a meme. It's a photograph of a cemetery.
All for Biden. The dead people really did vote for Biden. I fact-checked it. And
Really?
What are the odds that all...
Wait. Was he memeing? At points like this, when he says stuff like that, I don't know if he expects his audience to know that he's lying. I genuinely don't know. When people watch that, do they think he actually fact-checked it, or do they think he's making a joke? I genuinely do not know. I don't think they care either.
All the last-minute changes to our election process and voting laws
That were done by Republicans. The last-minute changes were largely done by Republicans. The changes that were done months and months in advance and passed through the legal processes of those respective states, those ones about mail-in ballots, those were fine.
in the name of COVID also favored Biden. And how about all the counties with more votes than eligible voters?
This is another off-debunked claim. There were a couple of counties where there were more votes than there were eligible voters, because the eligible voters were from 2016 and the votes were from 2020. More people were registered to vote. It's that simple. Yeah, this was disproven the night of. Like, this has been proven fake for like 2.5 months now. But he'll continue to repeat it. And I'm sorry, we're focusing on rhetoric here. My apologies. Let's shift back to the rhetoric.
Or where they got more mail-in ballots than they even sent out. In Pennsylvania, they sent 1.8 million mail-in ballots and got back 2.5 million. And last but not least, we've got Dominion, the voting system with ties to socialist Venezuela that was programmed to manipulate votes for Biden while sending our data to China, Iran, and Russia. And when the system crashed because of the Trump landslide, key battleground states simply decided to stop.
I really like that claim, by the way. This might be my favorite claim. When the system crashed because of the Trump landslide, these people are so delusional that even in their conspiracy theories, they sound like a child lying, you know? Like a 4-year-old who's like, why the 4-year-old, like the mom's like, why is your face all scuffed up? Did you get in a fight at daycare? And the kid's like, no, I went outside and I stopped a car that was about to hit Stacy. And then I threw it over my shoulder, but some of the dirt got on me. Like, it's like such insane shit. The people who believe this, by the way, believe that like California went red. You know how everyone made fun of Tim Pool for saying there might be a 49 state landslide? These are the people who actually do believe that. So their argument is that modern day computing systems, which are capable of a lot, crashed because instead of getting the expected 60 million votes, they got like 100 million or something. I don't know if the people here understand that computers are capable of, when it comes to ballot counting, processing essentially an infinite amount of information. I'm pretty sure modern computing systems could probably calculate like the votes of every single human being on Earth in like a second, because this isn't hard for a computer to do. But they're saying that it crashed the computers because they were uploading at like 1/4 of a megabyte per second? What?
Slide. Key battleground states simply decided to stop counting and head on home. When has this ever happened before in US history? This is just the tip of the iceberg. Every one of these reports should be serious grounds for investigation. Thousands of poll workers, postal workers, election officials, and honest Americans, both Republican and Democrat, have come forward with photos, videos.
So this is interesting. The Gish Gallop continues, where rather than specifying a single claim, he then goes on to list through 1 million of them. And then he sort of gestures at bipartisanship by saying that Republicans and Democrats have both come forward. This was actually a key argument that was used, I believe, by Rudy Giuliani during some of his hearings. He was arguing that Democrats didn't even want to put their own guys near where the ballots were being counted because they were worried an honest Democrat might out their scheme. And that's exactly what happened, because there are people who are Democrats who signed affidavits. But in doing so, they try to affirm this belief that it's not a Republican versus Democrat thing. It's a you've fallen for the conspiracy, or I'm sorry, you've fallen for the ploy or you haven't thing, where the Democrats are not like agents of the Biden machine. Rather, they are just unaware of the extent to which the DNC has manufactured the result of this election. It's an effective rhetorical strategy because it makes the person watching this feel as though they're not partisan.
And firsthand stories affirmed by sworn affidavits documenting massive voter fraud. Social media has...
You just scroll through that really quickly. I wonder, do you think we could like pause this and look at it really quick?
Massive voter
come on.
fraud.
This writing, I'm not great at reading handwriting. Oh, geez. There were a lot of coolers and suitcases throughout the room. A few times I tried to take pictures and I was threatened to be kicked out. I have pictures that I emailed to mleda@donaldtrump.com. Wait, this person was taking pictures inside of a ballot counting room? I'm pretty sure that's literally a crime. Is that not literally a crime?
Social media
Affidavit of Articia Bomer.
has been flooded with him. Yet
Well, I want to see the one in the really thick.
mainstream media
God damn it. I feel like if I could scroll through this frame by frame, but we're looking at it on Twitter video, we could find some really funny shit in here.
keeps asking.
Again, we were told we could step up to the machines if we asked the worker it was acceptable to approach them. Some were amenable, but others said no closer than 6 feet due to COVID. We were also told we could not hamper the process. Obviously, if you need to ask permission to do your job, you are by default hampering the process. In essence, we were either intimidated, threatened, or barred by poll workers' COVID fears from checking anything properly. Wait! This person is saying they were intimidated, threatened, and barred because some poll workers requested they stay 6 feet away? Isn't there a minimum distance they're supposed to keep away anyway? The workers also chose to minimize the screens on the computer so we could, in fact, not read anything from 6 feet away. Even though we asked if they could increase the window size. What the fuck? Oh, God, dude. The greatest content stream on earth would be going through these affidavits and just laughing at these people. So here's another quick thing. When you are building a legal case, one of the most essential things that you can do is establish the legitimacy of your claim. Let me tell you guys how not to do that, okay? Some good ways to avoid establishing legitimacy would be to make outrageous claims of voter fraud outside of the courtroom, and then in the courtroom, like Rudy Giuliani did, say you're not alleging fraud. Another good way of dismantling your credibility would be to lose 50 consecutive legal cases, or to not even have them be heard or have them dismissed because of standing. Another great way to remove any legitimacy from any of your legal claims would be to have open petitions for signed affidavits. Let me be clear. Open petitions for signed affidavits. If you are the president of the United States of America and you say, hey, anyone who saw anything suspicious, which could potentially be anything, you all need to sign affidavits and you need to get, here are emails and here's the commission, here's the phone number you can call. That is not how collecting legal evidence works. Having 10 trillion affidavits actually makes your argument worse because it means you aren't assigning any standards of credibility to those affidavits. Proper legal research would mean that if a person feels they saw something or heard something bad, Republican investigators or like a legal team or a lawyer would go to their house and talk with them, try to determine the legitimacy of their claim, and then only if it was bulletproof, they would have the affidavit signed and bring it to court. They didn't do that. They just accepted any fucking affidavit you would throw in there. I'm pretty sure that if you went through it, if you signed an affidavit saying like, I'm Vosh, and when I went up and I threw a rock at the window, the police pulled me away, and I said that I had a right to be there, and they said, no, you don't, and this is my affidavit. And even if everything that I just said there is technically true, which means, by the way, that I would be insulated from legal consequences if I were to testify before that in court, even if that was the case, it wouldn't really be evidence, would it? I'm pretty sure they would accept that affidavit. I really do feel like they would, you know? So, from a rhetorical perspective, I'm actually telling you that the plurality of evidence available here is an argument against the legitimacy of these claims. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but if there really is a case that voter fraud has taken place, then all it should take is one significant allegation to bring down the whole operation. That should be it. This is a scattershot approach, which is not well looked upon in legal circles.
Where's the evidence?
Once everyone is gone.
Here we have the immediately debunked the ballot box was under the table claim.
Coast is clear. They are going to pull ballots out from underneath a table. Watch this table. Do you see the gentleman in the red? So he just pulled one out.
Wait, but there are people
So
right there.
what are these ballots doing there, separate from all the other ballots? And why are they only counting them whenever the place is cleared out with no witnesses?
How is it clear? There are people right there. How is it cleared out? Also, by the way, the segment of the video footage that you're seeing right now, notice how there are boxes all over the place. There's a box here. There's a box here. There's a box here, 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 there's a box behind the trash can, and there are probably plenty of others that I can't see because of the perspective of this camera. Why would there not be boxes here below the camera as well? The box that got wheeled in there and placed there was placed when everyone was present. Like, you can see that if you watch the whole video footage.
Where's the evidence?
I'm here with Elliot right now at his wedding, and we were taking the trash out, and I wanted to show you guys what we found in the trash can at St. Anne's, which is a polling place.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Trump.
So, here's a question that you can ask yourselves. If there was a countrywide conspiracy to destroy to elect Biden and to get Biden votes, fake Biden votes, why would they tear Trump ballots in half and put them in a publicly available trash can? Can we think about that for a second? Like, here's our massive conspiracy to undermine the results of the election. By the way, weren't they just turning Trump votes into Biden votes using Dominion? Why would tearing up Trump votes be necessary? Why not process them as usual and then just change the numbers because of Dominion? Why would you just tear them up and leave them in a trash can? Unless, of course, the people who are filming this video did this themselves to take, videos of it.
Trump, and there is more ballots in this trash can.
Inside that trash. But we will say we did find one Biden.
Where's the evidence?
I like how they said there were more inside that trash, and I see like 5 in the trash bag. There's like 5 in there. We have more. What they should have done is they should have filled up a bunch of other trash bags with packing peanuts and then like filmed over those. But like we have whole trash bags of these. Guess they got too bored to continue filling out, bubbling out all the Trump answers for all of the spare ballots they had.
Biden.
Where's the evidence?
Can you calculate how much of a vote that accounted for Biden and how much for Trump?
Close to 600,000. I think our figures were about 570 some odd thousand that all those spikes represented over time.
For Biden?
Correct.
And how much for Trump?
I think it was a little over 3,200.
Now, hold on.
What is that meant to indicate?
Didn't they just drag us through a baseless 4-year...
Okay, here we go. So we've gone through all of the bullshit claims about voter fraud, but now we get back to the rhetoric, okay? Chill.
Witch hunt into Russian election interference over far less evidence. And
the Russian election interference thing produced dozens of arrests and indictments, and also it was a real investigation done by the actual government.
Isn't it their job to be digging for evidence? Wouldn't Nixon have gotten away with Watergate if the media didn't dig for evidence? No.
Hold on. So rhetorically, this is a Mott and Bailey, okay? So what happened with Nixon was there were leaks that were given to the press, and then that information culminated into a federal investigation. What's happening right now is there a significant amount of media which is claiming voter fraud, and every time they attempt to get a real investigation started by the government, nothing happens because you don't have any evidence. Deep Throat, the evidence that was provided in Watergate was credible and did lead to a federal investigation. What does this have to do with the media? So what he's arguing right now, the guy in this video, he's arguing that the media is like the pivotal component here that's missing. Like, the media was present back with Nixon, and that's why Watergate happened, but the media is not present now. But how can that be the case? Because back with Nixon, it only took one insider to leak this information. And today, there are multiple media outlets circulating stories from tens of thousands of people alleging voter fraud. The media right now is more involved in this alleged voter fraud than the media was in Watergate. So this has nothing to do with media involvement. But do you know why he brings up media involvement? Do you know why that's the thing he hampers on here? Because he's trying to indicate to you that it is the fault of mainstream media that these claims are not being fully investigated, which if you think of it for like 2 seconds is an incredibly easy claim to debunk. But don't you think it's convenient that that claim is predicating what will almost certainly be an introduction to the content that this channel is trying to produce? Hey, mainstream media keeps letting you down. Wouldn't you like to try some independent, facts-based media? And just happen to present like 47 lies to you over the course of 30 seconds. The reason why things are being framed this way is because of the material conditions present in those who made this video, the motivations behind them.
Not only aren't they digging for it right now, but they're burying it in a giant game of whack-a-mole, along with their comrades over at Twitter, Facebook, and Google.
Okay.
Of course, they had their fact-checkers debunk everything first. These arbiters of truth who have more conflicts of interest than flavors of ice cream in Nancy Pelosi's freezer.
That's really good, okay? This is really good at appealing to like the 80 IQ conservative. So we delegitimized fact checkers. Because, so this guy's lied, like, across the entire breadth of the video. We delegitimized fact checkers. Have you guys seen, like, the fact check Wojak? I think that Paul Joseph Watson likes posting it, where it's like, oh, I'm a soy Wojak, and I love fact checking. I love empirical data. Oh, I'm debunking it. Yeah, that one. Let me tell you this, okay? Anybody who thinks it's an own to point out that you like debunking misinformation is probably trying to sell you some bullshit, okay? That's a really easy sell there. And then you have this weird throwaway line about Nancy Pelosi's fridge. So what's the actual criticism being made here? That Nancy Pelosi has like a fancy, expensive fridge as somebody who's been in government since, I'm pretty sure, the beginning of the United States of America? Do they have a problem when Donald Trump is wealthy? Of course not. The goal here is to inspire contempt of a person that you don't like. And because we're talking about ice cream here, in all likelihood, it's meant to be frivolous too. While Democrats are fucking you over, while Democrats are installing Biden as the president, even though Trump won the election, they're laughing at you and eating expensive ice cream from an oversized freezer. In a way, this rhetorical turn is actually really, really, really similar to what, and pardon me for Godwin's law, really similar to what the Nazis taught Germans to believe about Jews. The Jews in the Nazi Germany were said to be a greedy, insular, self-obsessed people. They ate 5 meals, you see. They wouldn't share their gasoline during rations with their neighbors. Whereas the German population, the Aryan German population, was austere and responsible and communally minded. And the goal behind saying that, and of course there was no truth or evidence to any of that, but the goal there was to give the average German a feeling of being humiliated by the ostentatious Jew. And that is what is being done right here. The goal is to get the Republican viewer, and the person who's viewing this is almost certainly a Republican. The goal is to get the Republican viewer to clench their fist at the humiliation of being outdone by somebody as silly as Nancy Pelosi. You don't just want people to be scared. You want them to be angry and humiliated, because it is from the feeling of impotence that fascism most often rises.
Pelosi's freezer.
And that weird noise.
Even President Trump's tweets are so-called fact-checked and censored. In his press conference,
that is not what censorship means.
Are interrupted and cut off.
Okay, here we are again in the unusual position of not only interrupting the President of the United States, but correcting the President of the United States.
Think about what this means. The President of the United States of America is being censored by U.S. companies.
That is objectively not the definition of the word censorship. As a private company, any of these media outlets have the right to not cover a Trump press conference if they want. He's at a press conference. He's the president of the United States of America. It's basically impossible to censor the president. It's the fucking president. They have like they have the largest soapbox in the world. If the president wants people to know something, the people will know that thing. But yeah, fact checking isn't censorship. News stations choosing what to cover is not censorship.
This whole thing reeks of corruption. And not just corruption.
Interesting. So we're talking about the mainstream media, but we have also implicated the DNC, every single major news network, all social media networks, Nancy Pelosi. He says corruption, but at this point, he's indicted so many individuals that it's impossible for all of them to be connected by anything even remotely resembling a single conspiracy. And that's good, because his goal here is not to indicate to the people who are watching that there is one specific thing that is wrong. The goal is to indicate that all of these are institutions which are not to be trusted, period. Even if no reason is listed, the fact that they've done things which are inconvenient to fans of Trump means that there is something to them. The act of disagreeing is suspicious to him and to people watching.
But treason. It's such a joke that I'd be laughing.
Treason. He just said treason for fact-checking the president's tweets and for not covering a news conference of his and for Nancy Pelosi having an ice cream fridge. Treason!
If it wasn't so serious. But it is serious. Because let's assume for a moment that just a fraction of the fraud reports are true.
Now that right there should be setting any decent Americans alarm bells in their head right the fuck off. If somebody is making a claim of enemies, of treasonous enemies within our country, they list a bunch of claims, and then he goes, oh, well, you know, I mean, I know that's a lot, but like, even if only most of those things are fake, I mean, my point still kind of stands, right? He's undermining his own credibility here, or at the very least, he should be. If you think about it, he should be. Because if you're making claims these severe, you shouldn't be making, you shouldn't be throwing something like that in there. Can you imagine, like, do you think that's what they did with Watergate? Like, the investigators for Watergate were like, you've heard a lot of claims today about the crimes of Nixon's administration. Even if, like, most of them are fake, that's still pretty bad, right? No. If you make a claim, you stand by it through to the end.
If mainstream media and social media didn't let you see or even talk about them, how would you even know?
What do you mean let you see or talk about them? No evidence has been provided of social media banning any discussion or content. So this is kind of a non sequitur here. He's talking about social media keeping you from being able to see the truth, but all he's shown so far is mainstream media not showing you a news conference that you could just see elsewhere on C-SPAN. C-SPAN will show you anything the president's doing. And fact-checking tweets. None of this accounts to censorship.
Think about it. If our election was stolen and our government was overthrown and yet they kept it all hidden, how would you know?
Who's they?
If mainstream media
we got the sheep
can completely control public opinion and the flow of information, including from our president, does the truth even matter?
Again, like, this is another rhetorical trick. So this guy has no way of proving that Trump's voice or that any of the claims of the Republican Party have in any way been silenced. He has no way of doing that because no censorship has taken place. So instead what he'll do is say, here are things they did that make me angry. Isn't that suspicious? Now that I have you angry at these entities, I can throw claims of treason at them and you'll believe it. Because if I can indicate to you that you don't like them, that's enough. That's the burden of proof you need met to believe that they are complicit in censoring the President of the United States. Everything that he says, it's all couched in phony, questioning. What if this took place? What does this mean? It's a coward's talk. It's a way of avoiding responsibility for the implications of the things you say.
What if I told you that every single one of our mainstream media, including Fox, is being used as a tool to manipulate public opinion and steer the outcome of the election?
Whoa. Media is a tool to manipulate public opinion? Oh my God. Holy shit. That's unbelievable. No way. You mean when I turn on MSNBC or Fox News and they give me their opinions on politics and they give me their preferences on who should be president, they're trying to influence my opinion? That's incredible. It's a good thing you're not doing that, though. You're not trying to influence any opinions with this video.
Perhaps a year ago, you might have called me a conspiracy theorist. But considering we've all been living in the twilight zone lately, you're probably starting to realize that anything's possible.
That appeal to intuition again. This is very important for conservatives, okay? So, hey, things have felt funny lately, huh? Yeah, they have. Yeah, you're not dumb enough to think stuff like this can't happen. You're onto them, aren't you? The goal of this guy is to make you feel intelligent for buying into his incredibly transparent propaganda. That's a very important rhetorical tactic, because he's saying he's not the one who's forcing you to believe these things. You're naturally being led to these conclusions, and he's just giving voice to your opinion. It's a psychological trick. It's a combination of priming and kind of, in a way, gaslighting in a way, in the sense that the way in which he's framing the information he's presenting is meant to make you double check your own preconceived beliefs about the way all of this has gone down prior. It's a way of essentially creating two yous, the one you were before this video and the one you are now, a one which agrees with everything that he's saying, not because he told you this, but because you had always agreed, and you're just now learning. You're being given the clarifying information. I think personally, I think stuff like this is abhorrent to do. Like from a propagandistic tactic. And there are people on the left who do stuff kind of like this, but this video is one of the most like blatant invocations of this tactic that I've seen in quite a long time. Oh, here's a fact check on those ballots in the trash that we saw. Except wait, fact checkers are all biased and nitpicking. Bye-bye. So now that you've watched this guy's video, you know the fact checkers are all liars too. So if you go here and you're provided information which clearly and factually indicates that these are spoiled ballots, you can see right here. Fact check part 2. Here are screenshots from the video that clearly show the ballots have been spoiled. And then right here, see? You have a section in the ballot where 2 adjacent options are filled in. A spoiled ballot, one that cannot be counted. You can just see this in the video. It's evidently available to every single person who watches it. But fact checkers are nitpicking and biased, so I win. Bye-bye.
Just try to wrap your head around this. How did the media so accurately predict the long delays in counting votes?
Because you can mathematically predict how long it'll take based on the laws? What? The methods by which states count votes are encoded into the laws of those states.
And the red mirage before the blue wave. And why did they spend...
do they genuinely believe that California went red? They really do believe that, don't they? Yeah. They really genuinely believe that California went red. That New York went red. They believe New York went red. Yeah.
The red mirage before the blue wave.
Remember, all of this is a direct product of propaganda that the Trump administration has been laying out for months now. That all of the mail-in ballots are illegitimate, that they would be used to cheat, they would be used to steal the election. Any reasonable person could have seen how things were going to happen. It's very, very evident that, the in-person ballots are going to be mostly counted from Republicans, and then the mail-in comes in, it's going to be mostly Democrats. And that's the reason why Florida was settled so quickly. Florida got to count their mail-in ballots sooner than everybody else. Simple as that. Oh yeah, they have sorry, I noticed how Pennsylvania and Wisconsin are still kept red here.
And why did they spend months...
Is that a mistake? Because the electoral count was accurate. I don't know.
...downplaying the risks of mail-in ballots, while sowing the seeds that Trump would claim voter fraud and refuse to concede. Do they have a crystal ball? Why did Hillary Clinton tell Biden not to concede under any circumstances?
Oh, I know this quote.
All the way back in the summer.
Joe Biden should not concede under any circumstances.
Now, do you think that's the end of the quote right there? When you see a video like this, and a quote is provided, and it begins and ends mid-sentence, do you think that's an accurate representation? Trust me, speaking as Vosh, it's pretty easy to cut people out of context. Aggressively easy, one might say. Let's pull up the full quote. Here we go, from NBC News, 2020 election. Give me that quote.
Your show played this clip of Hillary Clinton. We'll play it for our...
Maybe a narrow A. Joe Biden under any circumstances, because I think this is going to drag out, and eventually I do believe he will win if we don't give an inch, and if we are as focused and relentless as the other side is.
So she's pretty clearly saying not to concede immediately and to stay out as long as Trump is. They're saying don't concede as in on election night, don't just give in because Trump is saying that he already won. Pretty clear given the context of the quote, because all she said at the very end was, if we fight as hard as they do. So the only claim that you could possibly make about Hillary Clinton is that she wanted Biden to tough out the election with the same austerity, or not austerity, sorry, with the same stubbornness as Donald Trump.
Why did they spend the last 4 years using every possible tactic to undermine Trump's presidency?
Very vague there. The last 4 years, comma, every possible tactic to undermine his presidency. By that, do you mean disagreeing with him publicly? Do you mean conspiracy? Do you mean this means like a million different things. Remember, all of the propaganda that we've witnessed so far is the product of very deliberate script writing. Very, very deliberate script writing. A lot of people make the mistake when they watch videos like this of being charitable to the ambiguity of the statements that are made. Oh, he could have meant anything by that. Maybe he means like the things the Democrats did do. No, there is a reason. There is a reason that he is being vague here. It took rewrites. People thought about it. And I imagine at several points during the script writing process, he or somebody else took a look at it and he said, you don't want to make that claim. If they do, they can fact check you. Roll it back. And they did.
In the most relentless smear campaign the world has ever seen. And why did every single
smear campaign? What does that have to do with treason?
Mainstream media rush to coronate Biden and cement him into the public mind?
What do you mean rush to coronate Biden? What does that mean exactly? The election was... When was the election called? Hold on. When was 2020 election called? Yeah, didn't it take like a week? Like it took a while. What do you mean a rush? Was it December 12th? Hold on. No, not December 12th. Sorry, November. On November 7th, most national media organizations projected that Biden had cinched enough electoral votes to be named the U.S. president. The media waited until the math panned out in his favor. If the media was rushing to nominate him, why wouldn't they have done so on the 4th? If anything, the person who was... Wait, hold on. This is really, really, really funny because if anything, the people who were rushing to coronate a president were the Trump supporters, because on the 3rd, when only the in-person votes had been counted, they were screaming that Trump declared victory, like the day of. Trump wanted to rush the results and stop the count. Well, he wanted to stop the count in the states that he was winning in. He wanted to continue the count in Nevada and Arizona, where he was losing, but he was hoping he could get a turnaround. Yeah, stop the count. Remember stop the count? That was literally a chant. It's so funny that he would say that the media was rushing to coronate Biden when Trump himself was declaring victory, and all of the Trump-aligned media was trying to say, looks like this is pretty much settled, guys. Everyone's coping. Biden's done, huh?
Now do you understand why he told voters, I don't need you to get me elected?
I don't need you to get me elected.
It never mattered that he hit.
You cut him off mid-word. Are you kidding me? How can anybody... You can clip anything. You're like, I don't like murder. And then you can like murder. Like, you can do anything. What the fuck? Wait, Biden, I don't need you to get elected. Guys, if you're watching a video and you see people throwing out quotes from other people that are that like cut out of context, like, you gotta know. Also, Trump said he could like shoot somebody. And...
Folks, we got a lot of work to do. I don't need you.
Oh, I see where he got the quote. This is from Donald Trump's YouTube account. I bet you it's going to cut off exactly where he cut it off.
You to get me elected, I need you.
Oh, no, wait. It doesn't. Hold on.
You to get me elected, I need you once I'm elected.
Here, let me see if I can find the full thing. Air TV, PolitiFact. Video oh my God, it has its own PolitiFact. TikTok posts. Okay. Biden says he doesn't need voters to get elected. Misrepresenting his speech. Okay. The video features Biden saying, folks, we got a lot of work to do. I don't only need you to get me elected. I need you once I'm elected. Is that true? Does it just not enunciate?
Folks, we got a lot of work to do. I don't need you to get me elected. I need you to get me elected. I need you to get me elected. I don't need you to get me elected.
I'm pretty sure he's saying, I don't only need you to get me elected. I mean, he does stammer and mumble. It doesn't really matter. Here's a quick question for you guys. If there was really a world-spanning conspiracy to appoint Biden the president of the United States, do you really think that stammering fool's like 2-second excerpt from a speech would be evidence to that favor? Like, do you really think he would let that slip during a speech? He speaks from teleprompters. Do you think there's a teleprompter where like the teleprompter writer is like, well, of course, you know, it doesn't matter what people vote. We're going to install Biden anyway. So we'll just write this in. And yeah, like, it's ridiculous.
Hid in his basement all summer. It never mattered that only 5 people turned out to his rallies.
Oh, then this is another common one, okay? Like, as if the number of people... I like how they do this. So Donald Trump's claim to the legitimacy of his purported win is that he's been running rallies all over the place during COVID season and doesn't care how many people die. Literally hundreds of people have died because of Trump's COVID rallies. Like, there's super spreader events in every single city it takes place. This is from March 1st. This is from ages ago. Like, do we want to show pictures of Donald Trump standing alone in a room and then like Biden near crowds? Or this is like, how do I say this? From a propagandistic standpoint, if you're watching content like this and the arguments that are being made seem to be formed from cherry picking rather than like data, then there's probably not much merit to the claims that are being made.
And it never mattered that he couldn't even string a sentence.
Oh, wait, this was from March 1st, 2019? Oh my God, that was from like nearly 2 years ago.
Together.
True international effort to pressure.
It never mattered that the majority of
Trump stammers all the... again, like, oh God, sorry. We have to be careful about this, okay? We got to be careful, because I'm not trying to debunk these points, okay? The point that I'm trying to make here is that look at how much of this video relies on intuition. Look at how much of this video relies on cherry picking. So if the argument is that Biden stole the election, so why are there so many portions in this video where the only thing he has to offer in favor of an argument is like an incredibly narrow slice that could, like, any reasonably skilled editor could clip things to make the exact opposite look the case. But here's where we are. It's just really dumb. I'm sorry. It's really, really dumb. I feel like we're running out of the propagandistic techniques, and at this point, we're mostly just relying on debunking. We're almost at the end of the video, though.
Americans chose President Trump on November 3rd. And it doesn't matter that their fraud is more obvious than this.
Wait, hold on.
November 3rd. And it chose President. It never mattered that the majority of Americans chose President Trump on November 3rd.
What does that mean, majority? First of all, that's objectively incorrect. The majority of Americans don't vote. Second of all, by what metric are you determining this? There is absolutely no count anyone's provided where a majority of Americans had voted for Trump on November 3rd. Additionally, how can you make the claim that the media was the one rushing to anoint Biden when you're claiming the election was over when there were still tens of millions of votes to be counted? Yeah, like, if you really want to, you can get, like, clips of Trump looking like a fucking idiot.
I know words. I have the best words.
That infantry badge. Heroin alone, if you look at the heroin epidemic. Last year alone, ICE officers removed 10,000 known or suspected gang members.
And to delegitimize
Heart, lung, and liver transplants. And his daughter Laura at a reception for the Italian. And we are reclaiming our noble heritage. Company, sir.
Okay. You can...
And it doesn't matter that their fraud is more obvious than the stains on Monica Lewinsky's dress. Because...
Wow, that is a boomer meme. The stains on Monica Lewinsky's dress. Okay, that actually is really, really good at telling us what demographic this video is for. This video is for 55-year-old Fox News watching QAnoners. This video is not for young people. This is literally a 25-year-old meme. I think, like 25-year-old. Yeah. But that's who this is meant to appeal to. He's supposed to be like the smart, young, edgy man that people pull to. Nobody would ever make a joke like that. By the way, really bad joke. Unless they were trying to appeal to that demographic.
When you control every single channel of information, nothing else matters. Right now, big media, big tech, big government, and even celebrities are blanketing us with the narrative that Biden won.
So again, this is a really easy way to propagandistically phrase something that's just the fact of the matter. You could say this about anything. Big media, big tech, big government, all of them are deluging us with the narrative that the moon isn't made of cheese. Everywhere you go, anytime you talk about the moon, you can ask any of the sheep out in the street and you can say, hey, do you think the moon is made out of like rocks? And they'll say yes. You can go, you can ask any scientist, they're all in on it. And every time you hear the moon discussed, you hear that it's a large planetary body in orbit around Earth instead of what it actually is, which is a large cheese meteor that orbits us at a near geostationary position that we could reach and eat from if we wanted to. But the media, they blanket us with this narrative and nobody knows the truth and you're all sheeple.
Censoring all evidence of fraud and concealing the very real truth that our nation is facing its greatest threat since the American Revolution. Because as our founding fathers knew all too well, the moment we no longer have free speech and a free press to keep the government in check, we no longer have a democracy.
What about free speech and, what is being advocated for here? Isn't he the one taking the side of the government against the media, but now he's saying that we don't have a free media?
Press to keep the government in check. We no longer have a democracy.
He's claiming that the media needs to keep the government in check, but he spent the entire video complaining that the media has been keeping the government in check. This is completely antithetical to everything else he's been saying in this video. The whole video was about how the media was contradicting the Trump's narrative, and now he's saying the media, it's doublethink. That's what it is at the end of the day. It is doublethink. You've seen me talk to conservatives. Do you notice how quickly they swap from point to point? Like, they jump, they can say one thing and they'll say another thing that's actually contradictory to the first thing they said, and you don't actually know what they believe. It's not actually possible to know. All you know is what they want done, which is usually something bad. Anyway, long story short, the purpose of going through all of this is that I know that it can be very frustrating seeing conservative propaganda like that, but the solution, in case you're watching it yourself or you are trying to critique it in front of another person, is to stay calm and to carefully look for fallacious logic or for contradictory lines of reasoning. That is what you want to do more than anything else. You don't want to just broadly dismiss it as bullshit, even though it is broadly bullshit very often, because it is very, very important to prioritize good processes of arriving at conclusions over just the correct conclusions. I find this a lot with the left. There are a lot of people who get moved over to the left, and even though they're on the left now, and that's just great, that's just grand. Even though they're on the left now, it doesn't change the fact that their thought processes, their way of arriving at conclusions, is every bit as flawed as it was back when they were conservatives. And for that reason, they often fall down really, really bad thought processes, like, say, for example, being a Bernie or Buster, or, yeah, that's a big one. Rhetoric is dead. Anyone will take what they say now. Rhetoric is important, okay? Stay strong, people. All right, go team. There's actually a part 2 to that video, but fuck me if I'm watching that. Jesus Christ. Wait, so somebody posted this. Somebody in chat said people are malding in my subreddit because of my free speech take, and I find one thread with one comment and one vote. You people are such fucking drama experts. Jesus Christ. Today I heard Vosh in his Happy Christmas stream say he doesn't approve of anti-hate speech laws, especially in Europe, and that the fact that we have to see people put Nazi flags in their yard is a price for having free speech. After watching from him for 9 months or so, I remember him saying that in order to save democracy and free speech, we need to ban hate speech. No, from social media, not from the government. I've said I'm okay with deplatforming people for their hate speech. I'm okay with pressuring corporations into having terms of service policies that favor progressive values. All right. Let's read donations for as long as we can. I should do a video on Mitch McConnell. Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll be doing a little Christmas stream, I think, so we should be getting to that. All right. Juan Peralta, thank you for the 248. James Sweeney with the $2. I really appreciate that. Daniel Badra, thanks the 5. High Progressive with the incredibly kind $20. The moment I knew I was done with Jimmy Dore was when I saw his live stream chat was full of Nazis and right-wing chuds. Yeah, interesting how he seems to achieve such an audience. Speaking of, Jimmy Dore is taking credits for the $2,000 checks. Okay. Oh my God, the fucking ego on this man. Are you kidding? Trump listened to Jimmy about stimulus checks on Tucker. God, he's such a fucking grifter, dude. Yeah, he's the one who got AOC her start, and he's the one who convinced Donald Trump to give people stimulus checks. Okay, dude. Yeah, sure. Okay. Holy shit! What the fuck? Jess Rose with the 100 gifted tier 1 subs to too many people to name. Merry Christmas, or Merry Christmas, more accurately. Merry Christmas to you too, Jess Rose. Jesus Christ. It's crazy to think we have enough people in chat to even allow for that to happen. All right, everyone, tag Jess Rose with as much generosity as you can muster for the holiday season, okay? We'll be here tomorrow too, and you'll have to keep it going there. Thank you so much, comrade. That is incredibly fucking kind for you. It's essentially a $500 donation, but it's a $500 donation to the people, okay? Thank you, comrade. Seriously, what the fuck? Fucking block a text right there. Jesus. Well, I'll not let you distract me from reading these goddamn donos, comrade, but seriously, thank you, and a Merry Christmas to you as well. This is white genocide, yeah. Auntie, thank you very much for the incredibly kind $15. Yeah, he basically is a reverse Tucker Carlson. RNN, Dumb Bunny, and Carrie PM, thank you both very much. Thank you all very much for the incredibly kind $5. True, people are only mad at AOC because she's hot. That's how life is, sorry. She's just doing hot girl stuff. That's what people say, right? Santi, Shish, and Gross, thank you very much for the incredibly kind tier 1 subs. I really appreciate that, comrade. Brian Goodman with a very kind $10. So is this Charlie Kirk X Lady MAGA video real or what? I don't know what that's in reference to, but isn't Lady MAGA the trans lady who's a Republican? Wait, what the fuck is this? Keck V? Wait. Not trans drag queen? Oh, okay. This is insane. Wait. This has to be... This is a Photoshop. This isn't a painting. Wait, this is sick as hell, though. I feel like we have to add this. It's Keck W, but it's me. It's me. Can we get a poll on this? 21st Century Socialist, thank you very much for the tier 3 sub. I really appreciate that, comrade. And Valorant Shadow with the $10, thank you likewise. Congratulations on canvassing in Georgia. Oh man, did you canvass with Destiny's group, or were you doing it on your own? Either way, good job, comrade. That's really, really awesome. Tristan's, James Vargas, and Waldorf Nation, thank you for the $2 and $3 respectively. Oh man. Wow, that is an overwhelming majority of people wanting Keck V. Holy shit. It should be possible for me to do this even during a live stream now because of some changes White Nervosa made. Let me see. Can I save this as a JPEG or do I have to? Oh, PNG, sorry. Yeah. The landslide. Hold on. It's a Christmas miracle. I just don't want Keck W's chat or Keck W in chat because I feel like it would just make everything look like Hassan. But Keck V, it's all caps, right? Yeah, Keck V. Keck V. It's very important that emotes don't have any consistent standard or style for how they look. Ooh, should I make this a sub-only emote? Should I be an absolute cunt? No, I shouldn't. This one goes to the people. It's Christmas. It's Christmas! Let it go to everyone! I'm no Scrooge. It might need some slight edits, but hold on. Build chat. Force refresh. Get ready. Get in. Get in. Well, it'll obviously take a second to completely refresh that. There we go. It's loading, but I can see it. Chat. Okay, well, it's working on my end. Now let me get it up again. Hold on. Chat. Refresh. Do it. Do it. There we go. Chat's going to be a little bit laggy for a second because we refreshed it and everybody's spamming, but there you go.
Toss a coin to your streamer. Oh, viewers plenty.
The poor website. There we go. There we go. Hello, people. And we're back. How does that feel? Does that look good, do you think? Do you think it needs any edits? Maybe. I'll take a look. I can use Photoshop. There you go, people. It's a Christmas miracle. Who gave me the Keck V again? I'll have to look in that for the donation logs. Brandon Butterfield, Caleb S, and Saucy McSaucer, thank you very much for the $5. Really appreciate that, comrade. Vosh Simp with the 420, thank you, comrade. And Ashtray with the $5, thank you likewise. My goodness. Yeah, very true. What's this? Wait, what is this? Hold on. Tomorrow. I think tomorrow's live stream would be a good time for that special thing. And I think it's wonderful that that's being done. Update on Voshpak. Voshpak's not rolling out until 2022. We've got a while to go for that one. The elections are done for now. Anon Entropy, 88 Krager, and Spodomine. Thank you very much for the incredibly kind $5. I really appreciate that. Then again, it might take 2 years just to figure out all the legal stuff. PAC? No, PAC, Political Action Committee. Captain Cook, thank you for the $7. How am I doing? I'm doing great, comrade. Thank you very, very much. Sparkle and Encrypt Squid with the tier 1 subs. Thank you very much, comrade. Really appreciate that. Likewise, Ash the Jester. Now 19 and I know, thank you for the tier 2 sub and 10 euros respectively. Really appreciate that, comrade. How likely are the chances worker unions make a comeback after the pandemic? Probably not high without outside help. Yeah, man, you guys really like Keck V, huh? Well, I'm glad people like it. Zero Divisor, dash / and Mutant Polar Bear with $5. Thank you very, very much. What is this? What is the solution for Chinese soft power overtaking DC without Republicans? The CCP is balls deep in the Dem Party. This is Republican propaganda. The Chinese Communist Party loves it when Republicans are in power. It's amazing. We cede all of our ability to restrict their trade because we pull out of all like transnational trade agreements. Trump has let China expand their soft power massively. Without global expansion, we have no way of combating China. Like the Republican Party's isolationist agenda is literally like best case scenario for for China, like massively so. The entire circus. Thank you for the $5. We went over that. Brian27, likewise, really appreciate that. A beautiful picture, comrade. Sorry, running through a little quick. Elijah Sedge and Jacob Lopez, thank you for the $5. Rivers and Fluffy, thank you for the tier 1 subs. Really appreciate that, comrade. Happy to have you here, Rivers. Gregory Lazarino, thank you for the $2. Dude, have some evolutionary biologists on to talk about what? Race realism? Moen Chi, Build a Dog, Yar Harara, thank you for the $5 all, except for Yar Harara. Thank you very, very much for the $10. Yes, they put a fire fucking beat in that PragerU slavery video. All that was needed. Man, you guys are going off with that shit. Jesus. The Marxist Mark, thank you for the 4 gifted tier 1 subs. That is really kind of you. And Asiano, I think I shouted this out during the stream, but thank you for the 10 gifted tier 1 subs. That is incredibly kind. You're just going to spam that all goddamn day now, aren't you? Wow. Okay, well. Chat will be like this for a little while. Hell yeah, brother. Gotta break it in. You fucking weirdos. Ahsoka Bun, oh, thank you very much for the incredibly kind $35. Here's an idea. Can we do a debunking Blair White videos and donate the proceeds to a foundation that helps trans people? I'd love to donate if it happens. Sure. I don't normally do charity stuff on my stream because I feel like, I don't know, kind of virtue signaling when I do it, but I'm not necessarily opposed to it. We were able to raise $20,000 for Black Lives Matter bailout funds within like 5 hours of playing Minecraft, so that was pretty cool. David O'Leary, Nick Culver, and Luis Murillo, thank you very much for the $5. Have I gone over a Dinesh D'Souza video? No, I have not. Though I hear Dinesh D'Souza once turned down a mutual opportunity to debate me, so maybe. Kane Ho, the Marxist Mark, and Brit Mouse, thank you for the tier 1 subs, comrade. I really appreciate that. And Gladstein, thank you for the very, very kind $10. I am spot on. I'm pretty pog about everything I do, actually. I appreciate you noticing. Boy Meets Mini, thank you for the gifted tier 2 sub. Aaron Villarreal, with the incredibly kind $10, had a flame war against the Inseminator and his followers on Twitter. Yeah, I heard apparently recently the Inseminator, that guy that Turf I debated ages ago, had a debate with Riley Grace Rushong or something like that. Really weird shit, you know? Yeah. Yeah, Con the Stonerlin. I use the term corporatism a little bit freely there, my bad. Jack Dobsey, David O'Leary, Alternative Facts and Insert Coins to begin. Thank you very much for the $5. I really appreciate that. Alternative Facts, I believe the Discord was closed when you donated it, but it should be open now, I'm pretty sure. Oddholt, Swagwar, and Spike Stripe, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Really appreciate that. You people are losing your mind. Gouda and DJ Power, thank you for the very kind $5. Nooberific with the $5. Please debunk this cringe. You've given me a 404 link. Love you. Christopher Morgan and L. Lawliot, thank you very much for the $10. I really appreciate that. Vosh, something amazing happened. PragerU had 200 videos restricted by YouTube. Damn, I wonder if that has anything to do with them being openly pro-slavery. That's weird. Like, restricted, like age restricted, I imagine? Or like in certain countries, or what? L. Lolly with $10. Do you think all LGBTQ people should own guns for protection? I do, but I'm always looked at weird when I say so, even though I'm a trans woman and always in danger. Okay, this is an unpopular perspective on the left, but I'm going to say it anyway because I trust you guys to interpret it appropriately, okay? Owning a firearm doesn't increase your self-defense, like personal self-defense viability. Having a gun in your house increases the likelihood of you dying, just flat out. Especially... And I understand that this is a controversial statement, but especially for people who are more likely to engage in self-harm. That's one of the reasons why there are friends that I have who are conceptually okay with firearm ownership, who don't want to have it themselves. Yeah, get a sword. No. If you want a gun because you want a gun, then get a fucking gun, okay? But I'm not going to lie to you, it does not statistically increase the likelihood of you being safe. Now, if you are very responsible with how you hold and store your weapons, if you train yourself in their use, and if you are of exceedingly high mental well-being, then yes, having a firearm will be to your benefit. It will increase the likelihood of you dying of old age. But that's on preconditions. People are fucking kek-Ving the entire time. Horace Me and No Moy, thank you for the $2. At times your community is racist. Yeah, every once in a while the community is pretty fucking weird. I think my community is pretty damn anti-racist, though. I think my community is pretty fucking good. I think that I've cultivated a good community, and I think that when my community is like bigoted, it's usually because they're being cringy, not so much because they're like being actively hateful. What is this?
Comrade, you could sit on my lap.
The fuck did somebody link me? Jesus Christ. Weird YouTube shit. Anthony and Jimmy Bilbo, thank you very much for the $5. Can I do a segment on how Reagan fucked everything up? Yeah, I guess. I feel like anyone who's amicable to those arguments already like knows that Reagan's bad, though. Typing Hazard, Stranger Danger, and GJ's Handkerchief, thank you very much for the incredibly kind $5. Have you seen that black socialists in America are working on an app to help anarchists build dual power? I haven't seen that, but like, that's good. Godspeed, right? Gotta do that direct action shit. Mythos GG, thanks to the tier 2 sub. Betty Snow with a very kind $10. Why am I so sexy? Ha! Because I'm charismatic, and that's the main reason why. Fierce Deity, Sisyphus, and Pogseal, thank you very much for the tier 1 subs. I really, really appreciate that. Afraid you gave me a 404 link, Sisyphus. Fuck me. Why they gotta make it hard? Sisyphus. Sisyphus. You'd think, given how much Hades I've played, that I'd be able to say that easier. Oh, that's nice. The Draco, Chromium Cheetah, the Great Gario, and Holmes01. Thank you so much for the very kind $5. And Holmes, happy belated birthday, comrade. That's really, really kind of you. Sardony with a very kind $3. Could you please explain the context of your part in the stream? This guy claims you were okay with zoophilia in the clip. What? This is a 14-minute video. Who is this? TJV? Oh, this is another one of those videos calling me a pedophile. What's the... Is it because of the dog pill thing? I don't know. I don't know what the context is here. The only thing that I've ever said about zoophilia is, and I stand by this, by the way, if you think that bestiality is morally wrong, but you support the modern like meat industry, then you have some very strange priorities. That's the only statement I've made, I think. People interpret that as pro-bestiality, and that's their own biases acting out against them. Hydronel and Bronx Bjorn with a very, very kind $10. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Proudly gay as idpol is an identity, a function of our social nature. There's nothing wrong with identity. True. This is a good fucking meme. Skating underneath the lowest bar. Also, holy shit, what a flexible person. My God. I feel like we have too many laugh emotes now. Do we really need Omega Lol, Lol W, and Kek W? Do Omega Lol and Kek W not serve basically the same function? Don't we also have Pepe Laugh? We need them all? Okay. Kek V should be the one to go. Uh-oh, people already want to get rid of Kek V. Uh-oh. Let the infighting begin. Nigel 3, Mo Ajeb, and 1920 Pam. Thank you very much for the incredibly kind $5. I really appreciate that. Sorry for the Nigel oppression in YouTube chat, comrade. Sotum and Some Engineer, thank you very much for the tier 1 subs. And Andre Kakolakis and Doug Ratman, thank you for the $2. Really appreciate those, comrade. Jacob Michael with a very kind $10. Thank you very, very kindly. Really appreciate that. Brit Mouse the 690. Likewise, Daniel Fenton with the incredibly kind $20. Thanks for talking about South Africa the other day. Would never second guess the anti-white narrative I got I got from Saigon when I was in high school. Yeah, South Africa has like some pretty fucked up stuff going on there, but it's not like a fucking genocide ground for white people or whatever stupid shit conservatives want to believe. Tyler Rivette, Taco Face Fart, and Arizona Comrade, thank you very much for the incredibly kind $5. Yeah, Tyler Rivette, there are a lot of segments of the online left that feel very like religious, like not as in they believe in religion, but as in the way they handle like their political beliefs. It's very faith oriented, or it's very fucking weird. Okay, that's my belief. That's my hot take. My hot take, Reno.
Toss a coin to your streamer, oh viewers of plenty.
Oh my god, you people are being so fucking generous. Jesus Christ.
Toss a coin to your streamer,
I'm still
oh viewers of plenty.
not entirely sure if I understand how this is counted. All right, hold on. Everyone chill. Solomon with very kind 1362. I've become very extremely social media negative this year. How can we make measured acts of an actively political person without using the tools of capitalists? Unfortunately, whether you're doing electoral shit or direct action, social media is incredibly fucking useful. I don't know, comrade. Maybe you want to live out like in the wilderness as an ascetic monk, and when like travelers pass you by, you tell them the wisdom of like Marx. I don't know. Ryan Schleichting and Lysemia, thank you both very much for the incredibly kind $10. Hot takes, you're the leftist PewDiePie. I even think you should do some YLYL reaction vids. What's a YLYL reaction vid? What does that mean? Zonia, thank you so much for the incredibly kind $100, my dude. Meowie Christmas to you too. What the fuck, you people? Sonia, thank you so fucking much, comrade. Though I will be streaming tomorrow, so I will get to see you guys. Oh, you laugh, you lose. I'm a pretty boisterous person. I think I'd be bad at it. I'm not opposed to that necessarily. That normie content, right? Thank you so much, Sonia. I really fucking... Okay, come on. Your generosity has wounded my throat. Thank you. Jesus. You may not broke off from. The point is that you lose? Okay, well, yeah, I guess. You laugh, you lose compilation wouldn't be very fun if you win, right? Like you just stand there stoically the whole time. Thank you, Sonia. Really appreciate that. And Ryan asks, what is a libertarian socialist? Libertarianism was originally a leftist concept. Libertarian socialist just means that you're a socialist, person who believes in economic democracy, who wants to prioritize human freedom, which I certainly do. Charlie Henderson, with the incredibly kind $20. Thank you very much for the money and for the kind words, comrade. That's very, very, very much appreciated. JK Cherry and Ambam, thank you for the tier 1 subs. Nick of Time with a very kind $10. I will always be genuine. I hate lying. Never, ever, never gonna stop. Cookie Monster, thank you for the 100 kronar. Popeye Regina with the £2. Possibly, comrade. Deism Accountant with a very kind $10. Thank you very, very much. Mucho texto. Mucho imagio. Being texted a lot these days. I'm blowing up. By which I mean it's my family and partner. You Stinky Balls Jones, August, and Ass Reductionist. Thank you very much for the incredibly kind tier 1 subs. I enjoy your streams, but wish you would be less bad faith about other lefties' intentions. I would love to be more good faith about... So, wait, hold on. I'm not bad faith about lefties' intentions. Generally speaking, I think lefties believe they're doing the right thing. I just think that a lot of lefties are dumb as shit. And by the way, I am probably the most hated person by the online left. Like, no, that's an exaggeration. Amongst online lefty content creators, I am the most hated by the left. So I've gotten a really bad rap with a lot of these people, and to be honest, I'm bitter, okay? I would love to reach out, but man, oh man, some of the shit people say about me from the left is so incredibly fucking disheartening. It does hurt my feelings a little bit. So, like, I don't know. When I say stuff like a lot of lefties are ineffective, no fucking idea what they're talking about, that feels kind of like really, really like small compared to the treatment that I get from a lot of other lefties. I mean, I'm sure you guys understand, like, when you watch a stream of mine, and it's, like, a good stream or whatever, and then you go on Reddit, and you see people talking about me like I'm a fucking neo-Nazi, it's really fucking weird. Words of Pie, Corn Paper, and a Dark Future, thank you very much for the incredibly kind $5. Jason Ray and Jinx Doe, both of you with the extremely kind $20. Yeah, I've always wanted to do a segment on the Epic Times, yeah. And I don't know much about what you're talking about, Jinx Doe, but I can look into it. Thank you both very much. I really do appreciate it. Fiora, Lesbian Dad, thank you for the tier 1 subs. Sarah Rose and Ian Newcomb, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate that. Rocket6923, thanks for the $2. Crimson Kaiser with the $5. You did a short blurb on healthcare spending on my channel, The Crimson Kaiser. Well, fuck yeah, comrade. Gotta peep out The Crimson Kaiser to check out some good shit about healthcare, I guess. 21st Century Socialist, the 100 kroner, very true. Althasy and Anthony, thank you for the $5. Orbiter clicked him with the tier 2 sub, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. On Sugar Hill and Schopenhagel, thank you for the $5. You should occasionally post segments of your cats on the channel. Yeah, maybe. That is good content. And Zonia, you're going to be featured later, too. With the $20, I feel like Dora's shallow and unsophisticated political takes have become widespread in the online left, and that's where their animus with you comes from. Yeah, I just... The truest thing that I could ever say is that I feel like a lot of online lefties really just want to cheerlead, and that's it. They want to rah, rah, rah. They want to hear the same points over and over and over again. We want this. Liberals are bad. Cut a liberal, fascist, please. Trans women are women. And there's nothing wrong with any of these phrases, by the way. But any nuance or engagement beyond that is where you get like a lot of really bad engagement, you know? Rah, rah, Rasputin. Yeah, exactly. Fire Dick with the tier 1 sub, thank you very much. I was wondering if you'd open to a debate about Slavoj Žižek. Now, if I ever do a debate about Slavoj Žižek, I'd want it to be with Slavoj Žižek. So we have to get to that point, okay? Dumb Bunny and Jennifer Perelman, thank you both very much for the incredibly kind $10. I really appreciate that. Jennifer, I'm afraid that I can't make any promises right now about going on any other people's podcasts unless you're super famous. Wait. Are you... Oh, wait, yeah, wait, I know you. Yeah, you were running for Congress. Okay, wait, yeah, no, hold up. I do plan on talking to you. Hold on, wait, okay. All right. Sorry, I'm not great at remembering names, okay? It's, yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't responded to your Twitter DMs. I'm sorry, I'll get to that soon. You're probably not watching right now, but I promise. Okay. Benji Lake, thank you for the $2. Riverkill the Doctor, thank you for the $2. Really appreciate that. Liquid's back with the $5. Thank you very, very much. Moon's Cow with a tier 1 sub, thank you likewise. Inku Blue, Harry Nguyen, and 171 Killjoy, thank you very much for the incredibly kind $5. Really appreciate that, comrade. Yeah, I'm almost caught up too, Sergeant Bluebeard. What effort it took. Duke Eliciousify with the 200 kronar, thank you very, very much. I appreciate that, comrade. I try not to lie. I do my best. Red Sickle 99 with a very kind $20. I run a Facebook group in the VDS is real. When I explain you don't want to lower the age of consent, I lose group members. It's frustrating. Yeah, it's pretty fucking dumb. I don't think... By the way, it's really funny how the same people who criticize me for reaching out to liberals are the people who make it impossible for me to do any work in lefty spaces. Does anyone else find that a little bit funny? Like, fuck, man. I'd love to be able to walk in lefty spaces a little more freely. Jesus Christ. Speedy Boy 01 and Ragnarok DA, thank you both very much for the incredibly kind $5. I discovered you for myself when I asked for a source on a defamatory comment someone made on Reddit. Nice, there you go. Build an audience. No publicity is bad publicity, right? Morbid Leaf, Bradley, and Serene, thank you for the tier 1 subs, comrade. I really appreciate that. Simsy with a very kind $10. I'll show a gecko soon, probably. Spider of Doom with the very kind $20. Hey, I argue daily in a Republican-run factory. I'm able to disperse their claims, push socialism, and argue calmly, all thanks to you. Thanks for making me a better lefty. Love you, comrades. Thank you. Fuck yeah, comrade, and best of luck doing that work in there. You're doing the real on-the-ground shit that I can't do because I don't go outside. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Good luck out there. I have a throat lozenge in my mouth. French Vanilla Ice, Dami Mommy, 13 the Real B-Star 12, and Jackinator, thank you for the tier 1 subs. Really appreciate that, comrade. Hug, trans rights. Antifa Admiral, thank you for the $7. Happy birthday, or belated birthday, maybe. And your name is not cringe, comrade. Greco, Bra Momentum, and Carl Nickerson, thank you very much for the incredibly kind $5. Likewise, Horrors Me. Anime Karl Marx debates a Twitter lefty, no copyright arena. Yeah, Horrors Me? Let's see. Anime Marx. Just from that.
你好，请进。
夫人您好。
Wait, this actually is a fucking copyright arena. This is from that. Wait! Oh, wait, hold on. I need to refresh the desktop chat. Guys, are you ready for my hot take? Okay? Why the fuck can I get copyright striked for showing Chinese media to you guys when China doesn't even respect American copyright? This is a Chinese anime, not a Japanese one. Why the fuck should I get fucking copyright striked if they don't follow our rules, okay? That's some goddamn bullshit. Unironically, if Trump passed a bill saying that, I'd be okay with it. If Trump passed some, like, executive order saying, like, that companies no longer need apply DMCA, like, frameworks to any, like, Chinese-owned media or something like that. Something like that. I think that'd be okay. They don't copyright, it's all over YouTube. No, but I'll still probably get copyright striked. Or maybe I wouldn't, I don't know. Corn Paper, Elijah Sedji, and Majin Joey, thank you very much for the incredibly kind $5. Good luck, Majin. I hope it goes well there. It's state propaganda. Why would they strike it? Yeah, okay. It's all memes. It's all memes. Chris Wyatt with a very kind $10. Thank you very much for the kind gift, comrade. Casper Christensen, Heartbroken Lamb, thank you both very much for the $2. Appreciate that as well. Jokes01, thanks the tier 1 sub, and likewise Ann York, I appreciate that as well. I'm afraid I have not read the Max, Vitor. I haven't read that many comics, to be honest, but thank you for the $8. Sir Penguin Warrior with the incredibly kind tier 4 sub. Thank you, comrade. Vosh bad. Vosh extremely bad. But y'all keep watching him anyway. Shame. Holic Master with a very kind $20. Happy holidays. The content has been amazing. I'm massively grateful that you showed off Vosh Rad and liked it. I hope one day I could help you out too. Yeah. How is Wait, did you make Vosh Rad? Wait, Vosh Rad's amazing. I listen to that shit sometimes when I'm like washing my face in the morning. It's fucking hype song, dude. That's my fucking hype beast song. No, we're not playing right now. We'll save it for Christmas, okay? But yeah, that song's sick as fuck. Even without it jerking me off, like it still sounds really good. But like, yeah, fuck. And Zonia with the incredibly kind $20. I'm trans, been with you since you started streaming. I've caught most of your streams and have never heard you say anything disparaging about us. Yeah, it's really, really easy for me to not say anything bad about trans people if you don't think anything bad about trans people. I think it's cool as fuck. I'll be honest with you guys. Maybe I'm just like a huge pussy. If I was trans, I don't know if I'd be like brave enough to go through all the shit that they do. I'm so fucking lucky that I can just like wake up and be like, yeah, okay, this is okay. But like for like the shit sometimes you have to go through, and sometimes being trans isn't like a giant process of struggling either, you know. There are trans people who are just like, yeah, fuck, I'm trans. They just fucking do it, you know. Usually they have very supportive friends. Often they have the money to help them with what they're pursuing as well. But yeah, anyway, like I don't know, dude. That sounds really fucking hard. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, being trans isn't defined by suffering. So the only non-OST song you listen to is about yourself? Listen. Chill. One would only hope, Tron Panda TKS. David O'Leary with the incredibly kind 25... My God, Transco. Okay, we'll get to you. We're almost caught up with donos. David O'Leary with the incredibly kind 25 euros. We sort of banned Confederate flags at GAA games in Ireland. Some Cork fans always brought them to games. Noliag Shona Duit? Was that like Gaelic or something? Dude, if you want to ban Nazi flags in every single public and private venue, that's totally fine. I'm just saying you shouldn't be able to arrest people for it. Fuck yeah, comrade. In fact, they should be banned. I'm Parfait and Ulfed Anar. Thank you very much for the incredibly kind $10. I really appreciate that. I have a question to ask you. Do you think sexual preference in favor of certain skin tones is racist? Good faith question. Oh my God. Is that, so oh God. There's a line on this one, okay? Everybody has preferences for what they're attracted to. For a lot of people, that involves like stuff like skin tone. But there's a good and a bad way to go about that. Or I should say there's a neutral and a bad way to go about it. If you're like meditating on top of a misty mountain and you're thinking about it and you're like, damn, I'm really into dark skinned bitches or something like that. You're like, you got your hands together and you're, or something like that. And the wisdom of the heavens strikes you and you come to that awakening. And the reason why, by the way, the reason why isn't like for any like weird racial reason. It's just, that's just like I guess an aesthetic preference that you have. I don't think there's anything inherently immoral about that. The problem is, and let me be clear about this, 99% of the time, maybe even more, when people have like this racial preference, it's not because of some detached aesthetic preference. It's because they carry racial biases in themselves that are reflected in their preferences. Very often, when people don't like black girls, and that's a very common thing to hear, especially in like, you know, depending on what area you're in, when they say they don't like black girls, it's usually because they have stereotypes about how black people behave in their head. They don't like black girls because X, and that X is usually racist. Same with black guys. You talk about black guys like in a dating thing, like in a lot of group chats or whatever, people will say the wildest shit. And by the way, when people fetishize black guys, it's usually not because they just happen to like dark skin or whatever. It's usually because they fetishize like some weird, they're like, yeah, they're like animalistic or something. And these harken back to really, really old racial tropes. That's why, by the way, I hate interracial porn. Not because I dislike people of different races having sex. It's because all interracial porn is fucking racist. Not like, we're like 99%. The interracial porn is fucking racist. If it was just like a black guy and a white girl and they had sex, okay. But it's never that. It's never just that. And same the other way, you know? Same thing with Asian girls too. I don't think there's anything wrong with liking Asian girls. Like, I don't know, Asian girls are cute, whatever. But like a lot of people like Asian girls because it's like their culture hasn't been, their feminism hasn't corrupted their brain. They're submissive and demure and domestic like women are supposed to be before white women lost their way to feminist cultural marks. Like a lot of that shit gets really, 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 really weird. So the real answer to this question is that if you have like biases based on skin tone or race, I encourage people to be introspective about them because there's a very, very decent chance that it's informed by some kind of racial bias, you know? Okay, you all know what I mean. I think everyone here agrees with what I just said. Hello? You're just like staring. What's up?
I was thinking about what to grab.
Okay. The black guys have huge dick stereotype originated during slave days. Slave owners want to paint black guys animalistic sexual predators who are coming after white women stealing from white guys. Yeah, 100%. I feel so fucking bad for black guys with average dicks, okay? Black people and white people have like the same size penises, you know? So then fucking like, but now like, but I know this is a real thing because I had black friends in high school and shit who would tell me this. And it's like, they have sex with some girl, usually a white girl. And like the white girl would like play up the BBC thing like while having sex with them, and it was like weird as fuck. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, you know what I'm talking. Yeah. Like you're taking the jeans off, and it's like, I can't wait to get destroyed with this huge black cock, and it's like a normal dick because they're normal people. It's like not. The reason you see so many huge black dicks in porn is because insecure white guys specifically search for that. Let me tell you, the term BBC is something exclusively cared about. It's only white people, okay? It's insecure fucking white guys who search that shit because they want to jerk off while imagining that that their wife or whatever is being cucked by a black guy or some shit like that, okay? Now, if you just like big dicks, that's great, but the BBC thing specifically, is really weird. Yeah, they don't hire black guys with normal sized penises. If you're a white porn star, you can have like a little bit of an above average penis and get away with it. If you're a black porn star, they literally like just don't hire you unless you meet the fucking bar, okay? 4chan's porn threads are 90% BBB threads? Yeah, of course. And depending on what pornography you look at, all the BBC interracial shit about black supremacy is racist as fuck against black people. That's the real weird thing, too. Even in the sexual fantasies where black guys are, like, domineering sexual titans, like, it's still racist against the black people. It's really fucking weird. Has anyone ever seen average black dick in a legit porn shoot? Never. Dude, if it weren't for amateur porn, I don't think I would have ever seen, or I guess having sex with black people in real life, I don't think that anyone would ever see like a normal sized black penis. I don't think it's even, I feel like the internet has the most insanely fucking disproportional representation of black men's sexual endowment, like imaginable. It's insane. The only black guys with average dicks I've seen is in Japanese porn. Yeah, actually. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Penis calculator comparing yourself to the average. How do we get here? Here, wait, I'm going to enter my stats. We're going to see, okay? Flaccid? Flaccid girth? I don't know the flaccid girth of my penis. What the fuck? Stretched? Okay, I'm just going to guess on some of these. Hold on. There's a penis volume stat here. What the fuck? Yeah, like like the fucking physical matter. All right, I put it in, and it says that I fucked your mom. There you go. Volume matters for sure. Well, well, yeah, volume would matter, right? I mean, okay. Sorry. I like the numbers. Your friendly neighborhood socialist with the incredibly kind 10 bucks. I think you shouldn't speak in the matter of hate speech, demagoguery, and whatnot, and how it's governed European countries when you have no clue what you're talking about. Damn, fucking Eurocucks were super salty at that earlier segment. It's funny because in the earlier segment, I think somebody asked me how I felt about Germany's laws for Holocaust denial, and I opened it by saying that while I feel they aren't effective, I don't know the specifics of European laws regarding hate speech, so I can't make any definitive claims. Didn't I literally open that bit by saying that? Like, I literally opened that by saying I recognize that I'm not familiar with the specifics of, like, European... Yeah, okay. I think I did. Fuck you. Brett Mouse, the very kind $10. Thank you very, very much. I'll take a look at that, I suppose. Social Pact Spag and Robin Sparkles, thank you very much for the incredibly kind $5. Have you seen Hakim on YouTube? I watched a video he made on you, and I'm having serious doubts about this community now. This community? It's a kind of a weird thing to say. Wait, Robin Sparkles, are you still here? I feel like I responded to that already. Yeah, what the fuck did my community do? Edgy Elliot, non-experts, thank you for the £5 and $5 respectively. I really appreciate that, comrade. Yeah, no worry, non-experts, all good. Bane, thank you for the tier 1 sub, really appreciate that. Weird. Your friendly neighborhood socialist, the 10 bucks. So it was wrong for Germany to ban ISIS from their platforms when ISIS was using those to recruit young adults. Holy shit, dude. How can people be so mad at me and so fucking incapable of understanding my points? There's a difference between the government being able to arrest you and social media sites banning certain types of content. There's a difference between those things. Holy shit. Thank you for the 20 bucks. Carboon with the $5. Thank you very, very much. Says the guy who wants to ban subreddits he doesn't like. I might actually have to kill myself. Holy fuck. People legitimately don't know the difference between something being a criminal offense and literally any other type of social opposition. You're saying that you don't think the government should be able to arrest people for not wearing shoes, but you are okay with ice cream shops not serving ice cream to people who's not wearing shoes. Hypocrite much? I'm gonna kill myself. I actually can't do it. I can't believe how inept people are intellectually. Yeah, at least they're giving me money, but like, fuck, can you not tell the difference? Jason Sanderson with a very kind 10 Canadian. Hakim said the Holodomor wasn't really that bad and that Stalin had to do it. Yeah, that sounds about right. Olfed Anar with a very kind $10. Thank you very much. Hey Vosh, I'm in Canada. They try to charge me for sharing an anti-cop meme. At least the charges drop at hate speech laws bad. Oof. Oh, imagine pushing for hate speech laws and that gets you in court for anti-cop memes. Ooh, that'd be bad. Alex Schlippen Life and Seas of Cheese, thank you very much for the $5. Comrade Pool, welcome. With the tier 1 sub, thank you very, very much. Imparfait with a very kind $10. Oh wait, I already did that one. Lexify with the $2. Please stop threatening to kill yourself. Not until people know the difference between criminal charges, civil charges, and social media terms of service. When people learn the difference between those three things, okay, then I'll stop threatening to kill myself. Tito the Gaming God and Lumu, thank you very much for the $5. I want to watch the Animaniacs reboot. It looks pretty funny. Henchman24 Venture with the 20 Canadian. I have a question about this force the vote. You'd say they lose political power. What did AOC, the left, lose by forcing the Green New Deal vote more effectively? AOC didn't force the Green New Deal vote. AOC never threatened to withhold their votes for Pelosi being Speaker of the House on the condition that she put Green New Deal forward. If she did, I'd disagree with that. I think that'd be exceptionally done. Sent Eldritch Horrors, Tatum Rose, thank you very much for the 5 and 666 respectively. Bruswick with the tier 1 sub, thank you, comrade. HTTP Lovecraft with the incredibly kind $10. When did chat get so dumb, bad faith, bad at both thinking and arguing? That's the real difference between pre and post 100k Vosh. Unironically true. Back when I was smaller, chat was more intellectually robust. But that's the consequence of growing larger, right? And the more people you have, the more you're going to notice the bad, the bad thumbs that stick out. But that's just how it is. That's not, it doesn't mean like the new people are stupider than the old people. It just means large communities have different, thresholds for what you notice. Oh my God. The BreadTube PragerU video of mine has 400 comments. Are these all people shit-talking me? It definitely is, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay. We're almost done, and I'm an hour over time. Fuck. I have shit to do. Conciliator, Cisco Wolf, thank you for the tier 1 subs. Just call me TY, Edgy Elliott, and Cisco Wolf. Again, thank you very much for the incredibly kind $5. Have a very, very degenerate Christmas. Just call me TY. Email me if you want to get unbanned from chat, and I'll look into it. Jason Sanderson with the incredibly kind 20 Canadian dollars. If you look more into the 2015 rapes in Cologne, there was actually quite a few non-white men that assaulted women, though a lot of women said sexual assault's always been a problem in Germany for a long time before. Yeah, the thing that happened in Cologne was real, but it's only a minor fraction of the total number of sexual assaults that took place in Germany during that year. But they focus on stuff done by brown people, and they don't focus on stuff done by non-brown people. Sake Tanuki with the incredibly kind $10. True, that guy was not Hooba Booba pilled at all. Recalculator and Tattoo Joy Boy, thank you for the tier 1 subs. Huh? Oh, did you talk to me or were you talking to the cats? Okay, the cats then. Schmarpo, Archie, David O'Leary, and Googly Goog 12, thank you very much for the incredibly kind $5. I really, really appreciate that, comrade. Jamie, thanks for the gifted tier 1 sub. Numero de Alden with a very kind $10. Happy holidays to you too, comrade. I really appreciate that. My Evil Twin with a very kind $20. Great segment, more propaganda analysis breakdowns like this. Yes, I would like to do that. I want to do more stuff like that. Now that we're moving away from the election, I can stop distracting myself with electoral bullshit. I think that'd be very, very nice if we could move away from that. Pepe Enlargement Pills, thanks to the tier 1 sub. Merrick DeVille, hey! $5. I have no idea why Twitter is mad at you, but stay strong, and they all suck. Fuck them. Violet Dickie Ball, Markinator, and Jacob Lopez, thank you for the $5 all. I really appreciate that, comrade. Hand Dapples the $10. Thank you for attending the stream. Really appreciate that. Bosch, in his most recent video, Hakim said you deployed a tactical N-word to impress Nazis. Thoughts? The fact that that Hakim's attempts to delegitimize my arguments involve him dragging through all the same hackneyed anti-me arguments indicates there's not much merit to any of the positions that he believes in. Also, I think I literally have a video on that. Jiwong with the incredibly kind $10. But Vosh, letting the state persecute for hate speech would let you use your money to purge social media of anyone who posts VDS-induced tirades. Yeah, if we post hate speech, if there are hate speech laws that are passed in this country, I'm suing everyone who posts shit about me, okay? Good Yule to you as well, John Flanius. I really appreciate the 200 kronar, and really happy to hear that TJ Kirk has sort of willed you to come into contact with me. Jess Rose again with the 100 gifted tier 1 subs. We've arrived at that point, comrade. Thank you, and Merry Christmas to you as well. You are insanely fucking generous, and I love you. Thank you. Jesus. Random Crit with the 225. Thank you very, very much. And yes, it is. Ethan Burns, thanks to the 10. Ben with the 5. And Sons of Midnight with the 666. Thank you very, very much. What do you envision the U.S. would look like today if Hillary won instead of Trump in 2016? That's a really tough question. Probably would have dealt with the coronavirus pandemic better, though. In fact, definitely would have. Definitely would have. Yeah. Tron Panda TKS. Nobody's afraid of saying Merry Christmas, I don't think. Candace Acker with the incredibly kind $50. Thank you so fucking much, comrade. Love watching your content. Smart is sexy, and my favorite part is when you lean into the microphone with your deep voice. All right. Fucking ASMR for you people. I see how it is. I'm just a proxy OnlyFans. Thank you very much for the incredibly kind $50 donation. I appreciate that, and I'm glad I make you horny. Yeah. All right. Hand Dapples and Adam Flores, thank you both very much for the incredibly kind $10. What would you say to communists who are against anarchists and the critique that anarchism in general on the left will let capital and capitalism arise again by decentralization? I think those critiques are fairly insubstantive, personally. Count Dookie, we went over it earlier in the stream. Your mom with the incredibly kind tier 4 sub. Love your content and community. I'm in school to be a campaign manager to get left-leaning people into power. Maybe one day I'll use your PAC money. Stay swaggy. Maybe. How nice would that be? Thank you. Thank you very much, comrade. I really, really appreciate that. One can only hope, right? Yeah. Zanya at the incredibly Zanya, you're fucking it up today. With the incredibly kind $20, purchasing a firearm in reaction to a risk or threat puts you more at risk. For long-term firearm users, though, it can help reduce risk yourself. Yes, I agree. Of course, carrying a firearm on you, concealed or otherwise, increases the odds of escalation of violence for various reasons I don't have characters to explain. Yeah. It's really, really complicated. I'm definitely not like the arbiter of like good gun safety measures, but maybe I can be in the future if I talk about it more. Thank you so much for the incredibly kind donations, comrade. And then you donated the $100. Fuck me, you people. Jesus Christ. Dragon, Itatexi, Rochi, and Castrix, thank you so much for the tier 1 subs. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I want to have Merrick on soon, for sure. Just holidays, you know? Davin and Nighthawk, thank you both very much for the incredibly kind $5. Brian Ephraim with the very kind $20. Oh, you were a firearm safety instructor for 15 years? Oh, well, that'll do it, comrade, won't it? Yeah, Brian, I'll be streaming for as long as I can, right? So, hopefully we're able to build a decent online lefty movement. Morbid Leaf, Dumb Bunny, and Parkour, thank you very much for the incredibly kind $5. Do whatever you want, Dumb Bunny. Godspeed. Lane Cat, likewise. Have a good holiday yourself. Will Trump win in 2024? I don't know. Maybe he'll get stabbed to death by a child prostitute. There are so many things that could happen to him. Erickson, thank you for the tier 2 sub. I really appreciate that. There are a bunch of CCP apologists on Twitter right now bashing AOC for her defense of Tibet. They are not our comrades, comrade. Raiden Soak with a tier 2 sub. Me and my other leftist friend introduced her to you, and she's been hooked ever since. Fuck yeah, comrade. Well, hello to her as well. Trapdoor Beaver and Carol Ann Robinson. Thank you very much for the $5. Welcome all boomers here. Foxtrot with a very kind $20. Thank you, comrade. And Act Gibbs with the 10. Without HRT, it's just Sysmix. Yeah. Space Trireme with the incredibly kind $20. Just watch Brand New Animal and realize BNA and Gurren Lagann are anti-Malthusianism. Here's $20. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you too, comrade. And I gotta finish Brand New Animal. Fuck. We never finished it over here in this household. Aurora, thank you very much for the $2. Yes, thank you to White Nervosa, myself, and the VGG community. And you. Wukong and Madfordite with a very kind $10 both. Madfordite, really happy to hear you're doing better now, comrade. That is poggers as shit. Sake Tanuki with the incredibly kind $20. Hassan sees a great song about him, makes it his OK Buddy theme. Vosh has a Vosh Rad, One Piece Vosh Rap, and Vosh V Gaston won't play them more than once, Sag. I just want to keep them special, okay? That's all. There are many songs about me that I appreciate. Akasin and Sage Pacho, thank you very much for the incredibly kind $5. Don't really understand all the hate you get. People just, why are they like this? I don't know. But remember, folks, the best thing that we can do to spite all the people who don't like me is to keep growing in spite of them and to be happy and fruitful and productive, which we, at least I think we're doing. I think we're doing an okay job of that, personally, you know. That's my belief. Carol Ann Robinson with the $20. Thank you so fucking much, comrade. My boomer ally. Brandon Fish with the 10 Canadian. Thank you. Merry Christmas Eve to you as well. DM Ronan with the 60 rubles. Thank you. Folder with 1312. Thank you very, very much. Penis volume is actually just the amount of noise it makes when you spooge. Ha! Very loud. Monchi with a very kind $10. In Germany, there's a thing called Volksverhetzung, incitement of the masses. Holocaust denial falls under that category, and you can get up to 5 years. Well, incitement to violence is also a crime in America, I believe. I'm pretty sure that can be a criminal offense, depending on the circumstances. Serum with a very, very kind tier 4 sub. Thank you. I really appreciate that, comrade. Yes, we're almost at the Joe Biden presidency, though I fear with the prominence of the Republican Party, we might have to continue arguing against their points for a long time to come. And Lauvlock, I waited tactically until I saw you complain in chat. Merry Christmas. Watch almost every stream since June. Time to stop being a freeloader. P.S. Who is Andy? I know how it's used, but not where it comes from. It's a Twitch meme, where it comes from, I believe, Ice Poseidon's community, where they had a guy called Andy, and then they had another guy in their squad called Andy, but the second guy was Mexican, and they didn't want to mix the names up, so they called the second guy Mexican Andy. So it became tradition that you would just describe somebody as a characteristic and then Andy, and then now everybody is everything Andy, you know. That's basically the gist of it. Melancholic Nemocide, I think, with the incredibly kind $20. Seriously, thanks for everything you do. Been a fan since Jesus is Lord debate. You genuinely reinvigorated my belief in politics. No doomer pills. Fuck yeah, comrade. Every day, look, politics is rough, but every day I get up and I get to talk with you guys. So how mad can I be, really, you know? Count Dookie and Jasper Card, thank you very much for the incredibly kind $5. Well done, Jasper. Sake Tanuki with a very kind $20. Okay, buddy, time for Christmas. Also, happy Newton Eve. Isaac Newton's birthday is tomorrow. Ha! True. That can be tomorrow, comrade. Tomorrow we chill. Soap Scum with a very kind $10. Happy holidays to you as well. Stephen13 with a very kind $5. The Nazis were far left. Tick, who is a historian, explains it perfectly on his YouTube channel. He's one of the best historians. I assume you're memeing right now. We've been over that video on stream, though. It's pretty dumb. Matthew Arnold with the $2. Thank you kindly. Zeti Minvik with a very kind $10. As someone who's dealt with suicidal ideation since I was 7, hearing you talk about the issues with gun ownership and how I'd probably not be alive if there was a gun in my house means a lot to me. Yeah, that consideration has affected me in the past too, because I used to have pretty severe depression. But yeah, of course, it's something worth taking into consideration. I think that lefties just like universally arguing for everyone to have a gun no matter their circumstances is probably a little bit irresponsible, especially since the left is generally better about being respectful of online like mental health stuff, you know. Salem Flowers with the incredibly kind $20, trying some new styles and did a little painting of you. Oh shit. Hey, this is on Physical Medium. I assume this is on Physical Medium. It would take a lot of effort to produce this. No, wait, is it? I don't even know. It's hard to. I guess you could make this effect digitally. Well, whatever the case is, I love it, comrade. Thank you very, very much. That's not a physical medium? Was this effect produced digitally? Yeah, I guess it must have been. It's not a means I'm familiar with, but damn, comrade, thank you. I'm pogging. So many kind donos. So many wonderful pieces of fan art. All right, people. I'm well over time. It took me an hour to go through that because I was actually going through the combined donations of 3 days. I'm sorry for the delay. I love you all very much. It is Christmas Eve, though not all of you celebrate Christmas or whatever. I still hope you have a wonderful day. So be well. I will probably briefly stream tomorrow. It's going to be like a brief little pop-in, like we're going to say hi, I hope you all are doing well. I know that for some people, these holidays are good times. For many of you, they are bad times. For me, they're barely fucking happening because I'm not seeing my family this year. I'm just here with Hyena and with Conyer, and that doesn't make it a bad holiday or anything. It just means there's less performative ceremony. But I hope all of you have a wonderful day. And just remember, whether you're lonely or not, this is an incredibly odd year for everyone. Some people's holidays are going to feel a little bit insubstantial compared to the past. So I encourage you not to reflect on and compare yourself to previous holidays, but rather to think independently what you can do to maximize your well-being tomorrow. And just think about that. Don't think of it as, oh God, I'm missing out on Christmas, or oh God, what a ruined year, oh God, what a ruined holiday. If you really have to, reflect on the fact that the Black Plague ravaged Europe for literal centuries. So, you know, could always have it worse. David Pena with the incredibly kind $20. Did you finish Chainsaw Man? I finished part 1. Thank you, comrade, and happy holidays to you, too. Can't wait for the anime, can't wait for part 2. Michael B, thanks for the $2. All right, people, be well. I'll see you all soon.